everyone? It's a beautiful Sunday evening, and this is the Esports CCC or CCP. We present Battle Up St. Louis, and is sponsored by the Marines. Welcome, everyone. It's going to be a fantastic evening. We have 8 awesome teams ready to duke it out in this double elimination bracket. But first, before we begin, let's just discuss some things here about Esports CCP to get everyone up to speed. Our mission is to provide a safe and supportive environment for gamers while focused on diversity and inclusiveness. And we believe in providing a path for amateur and high school players to pursue either college or just go straight into their career in esports. And in that same vein, we work with colleges who offer substantial scholarships that can be life changing. I'm Meet and Greek. With me is Perino, and we're gonna be bringing you the action tonight. Perino, how you doing?
I am doing wonderful, Greek. It's a pleasure to be here and getting started, getting underway here for Esports CCP should be a great tournament. We have an 8-team double elimination bracket set up. So I'm excited as always, just looking forward to some great Rocket League.
Yeah, and just looking at the bracket right now, we have multiple college teams. Actually, one of them in our first matchup of the evening, we have University of Wisconsin Stout going up against the Moxie Crime Fighters. So this is going to be a good one right here. I always enjoy seeing the collegiate teams play. I mean, I was running a personal stream on my own channel the other night, doing some of the field. You may know this. You've seen a lot of uh, pro teams playing in it as well. And I saw a certain collegiate team come in and queue a match, and I was like, hold on. That is the University of Connecticut. That's my alma mater.
Oh.
Of course I was going to stream them, and was I biased? Absolutely. Am I gonna be biased? Am I gonna be biased tonight against these teams? No. We're gonna get right into some great Rocket League. It's going to just be a fantastic time. And honestly, I just can't wait for this to start. We're gonna have some great matches.
Yes, absolutely. I'm a humble former collegiate player myself for Temple University. I'm repping could see the brand today on stream. And
Oh, I love it.
Listen, always rocking the cherry and white, looking good for the boys from Philadelphia. But yeah, should be an amazing tournament. This is for the St. Louis area, so these tend to be more Midwest teams. In fact, if we pull up our information here, I know this is a little bit different. It's a more of a regional event, so teams only from North Dakota, South Dakota, Illinois, Missouri, Nebraska, Wisconsin, Indiana, Iowa, Oklahoma, Minnesota, and Arkansas. Good thing I know my abbreviations. I went through that list and I got really scared I wasn't going to know one. But hey, those
Uh,
high school geography classes, stay in class, folks. It is useful stuff, but
I
it is around that area. So this is, a bit more of a regional event. Should be very exciting.
as you were going through that list, about halfway through, and I was counting on my fingers, I was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna run out."
Caster math is hard, man. Doing it live on
It
the
is.
desk is stressful.
It is. It is. But we're actually gonna get our first match sorted up very shortly, and you know, a lot on the line today, a lot of great things. But first, let's talk a little bit about the way that the bracket is going to occur. So it's going to be, of course, double elimination, and this first round is going to be best of 3, and then from there onwards, in the upper bracket, it will be best of 5, and then all the way into the lower bracket. Once a team is able to climb back up, they're going to go into the grand finals with the opportunity to complete a bracket reset. So we could potentially see so many awesome games of Rocket League. And what more can you say about that? I hope all of our matches go to game 5. And I just hope that we just get to see as much action as possible.
Yes, and Greek, the one thing that I'm certainly hyped to see is just, the level of talent that we get here. This is a pretty sizable tournament by all standards, $1,000 up top, for grabs, 8 teams competing. It is within that Midwest region is what I would call it. And we're just super excited to see it. I hear our lobby being made in the background. That's always a good sound to hear. So I know we're getting underway pretty shortly.
We're gonna get underway really, really shortly. Let's also talk a little bit about not just like sweet cash money, even though everyone loves some sweet dollar bills at the
Oh
end of
yeah.
the day, but Sector 6 Apparel, they're gonna be providing the second place team Marine branded custom jerseys with their gamer tags. Like, wow. I said this last stream that we had, but I sure hope that those players will post those sweet jerseys on Twitter because I want to see what they get because I'm sure they're gonna be absolutely awesome.
Yeah, and then just to round it off, the first place prize is Xbox controllers as well. So get to get some new sticks. Personally, I'm more of a DS4 guy, so going back to Xbox, I think would be a little bit iffy for me. But hey, gotta love the
Hey,
gear. And then third place as well gets some custom backpacks. So definitely some good stuff on the line.
yeah, it's gonna be a great night. There's gonna be winners all across the board. But with that fresh 5 minutes on the clock, we're gonna get underway here. Game one. This is again first round of the evening, so this will be a best of three. First team to take 2 games.
We're just gonna head straight into it. Again, we have Moxie in the blue. University, I believe that's University of Washington in the orange, and we do see Lurk here. The LFT tag in his name. Well, he's not LFT for this event. He does have 2 teammates. He's going to pick it up and pass it over to Brave. He's coming across for the air drill, was challenged well in the middle by Renegade, and already Greek. A little bit back and forth. No team getting too much on it. And right as I
Okay.
say it, Caster Curse Brave comes through with the opening goal here for the orange side.
Yeah, very big here for University of Wisconsin Stout. Getting this ball right around the corner. Defense got to play it a little bit more carefully. Can't be chasing that to the center of your goal. You need to have someone back post ready to drive right onto that, meet it before it crosses the danger zone.
Absolutely. Again, I apologize. I lost my game there. If you can cover for me, Greek, for a moment, that would be
Oh, I
spectacular.
got you. No worries, because we are only 1 minute in. And I don't even have to do any play-by-play because Brave is going to score. He's going to make my job so easy so I can talk about the color that happened. Masai did a fantastic job just ooping that one slightly in the air, getting it over the defense, then Brave to finish it off. 1 minute, 3 seconds into this match, and University of Wisconsin Stout, the commanding 2-goal lead. Let's see here if the Moxie Crime Fighters can bring this one back. But right now they're going to play a little bit more defense because that's going to wait a tiny bit. But is now going to go on patrol here. That ball is centered. Lurk is going to score it. And the defense just a little bit in shambles here. And we'll just take a look and see what happened. And could have been just a little bit of a mistake on the rotation. Caught them off guard. Moxie unable to get in prime position to make the saves required, and Wisconsin Stout now in a very comfortable 3-goal lead, looking to increase it. And they're not even pushing on the brakes. They're just all accelerator right now. Messiah's gonna throw another one into the net. 3 assists and now a goal. Things looking really nice for Wisconsin Stout. But now we're going to see the Moxie Crime Fighters on offense for the first time. Let's see if they can keep this ball in the orange half, but Masai's going to hit this one down to Lurk. Wasn't able to get a touch. Masai down to Brave, couldn't put it on target. That's almost a gimme, but I guess it wasn't because it didn't find its way into the back of the net. There goes another shot opportunity. Masai's gonna hit this one on and is going to. That was the slowest Rule 1 I think I've ever seen. It was also the slowest yet the fastest. It was the slowest to come together, but the quickest in terms of the amount of time.
And again, Greek, we got me back in there. Yes, I'm sorry, my game just crashed right as it started. As we're just going to see University of Wisconsin here. I was trying to get back into the lobby, and it appears that I have come back to a bit of an onslaught. It's going to be Lurk in the middle, just driving that one through. Goodness, this has been a explosive start for one of these teams.
Yeah, and right now Wisconsin Stout, they're just all business, and they're not slowing down at all. They're not going to give any sort of opportunity or a chance for the Moxie Crownfires to start to bring something back, because as soon as you lay off just a little bit, that could be what they need in terms of momentum going into game 2. Now, there's still half the game left, surprisingly. It would feel like this is more closer to the end for but there's still ample amount of Rocket League left here.
Well, the one thing about scoring a ton of goals is you end up increasing the length of the game. Lurk was bumped off the double touch. I think he had the angle for it, but just not able to get there. He's going to get up high once more, trying to push the ball across the backboard. And Wisconsin just playing it a little bit casually at the moment, sort of waiting for the game to come to them. And that's the advantage that you build, Greek, when you can get out to this kind of start is, well, frankly, you don't need to score too many more goals. You already have 6 in the bag. You're in cruise control at this point, so no pressure to really do anything outlandish. But here comes Brave once more, and it's off the post and wide.
Wow. I think you bring up a really good point about just not having that amount of pressure on you. When you can play so casually like this, they're effortlessly keeping the ball on the blue side of the field, and you're not allowing the Moxie Crownfires any chance to build any reputable offense. And by doing that, you just make it so easy for yourself.
And a great example of that is even there, Brave going for the double touch where, yes, obviously you'd like to score from that angle, but you remove all of that pressure. It doesn't matter because you're ahead by so much. Your teammate's going to be there either way, even if you don't hit it. They're playing with freedom and ability and pace, and why not make it 8? It's Lurk once more, driving it home.
Yeah, and Lurk somehow, I don't know how he does it, man, because he was supposed to get bumped onto the complete other state. He still finds a way to keep himself in contention on that play and not only get a touch but a score as well. That's just if you're playing against that, it makes your job a lot more difficult.
Certainly does, as Moxie have everything to do in this game. I'm going to make a prediction here, Greek. I'm going to say I don't think they come back for game 1. But, looking ahead a little bit, is Brave's just going to fire another one through. What's sort of the message, that you bring to the squad before heading into the next game here? How do you get back on track? Because this is a rough start.
It is a rough start, but, I've seen crazier things in Rocket League, and it's just game 1. And when you're going into game 2, you have the advantage of resetting absolutely everything, and this also includes just having a mental reset as well. I would argue that Rocket League is just as much mental preparedness as mechanical strength as well. And I think right now, for the Moxie Crime Fighters, you just got to tell yourself, all right, game 1, a little bit out of reach. But we haven't even been able to see what they're capable of on offense. So I want to see them go into game 2 with a little bit more aggression, and maybe they can start to build it here in this last 30 seconds, kind of put themselves on the right pace where they can keep this ball in the orange half, maybe put a shot on, and then from there just keep building it upwards.
There you go. There's a good challenge from Renegade. Oh, and he nearly sets it up for himself, but not able to get it fully on target as we approach the very end of this game. 13 seconds left to go. It's another save out from HLMC, and clock will tick ever closer to 0. One more save. Again, trying to get one more goal here is Wisconsin Stout, as they're going to set up in the middle, and it's not enough to get it over the line. Very, very convincing performance from Wisconsin Stout, as they're going to take game 1 of this best of 3 as we welcome you back to the desk here for this intermission. And it's a tough one, Greek. Tough one.
I mean, you outscore your opponent, or you outshoot your opponent 22 shots to 0.
Ooh.
That's tough. And you outscore 10-0 as well.
Yeah, difficult
Listen,
to come back from.
listen. It is difficult to come back from. However, I still am not 100% convinced because we just haven't seen any of this moxie offense. If we can see this come out here in game two, it could be what it takes. Now, granted, the odds right now against them are pretty stacked because that was just a very one-sided effort coming through from Wisconsin Stout. But, fresh 5 minutes on the clock, anything can happen here. I'm very
Any,
curious to see if this will be a closer match.
anything can happen indeed, as that one is just going to be lurking on the line.
Oh, look at that.
Wisconsin Stout had a tremendous chance here right in the opening sequence of this game, but very last second touch is enough to get it away for Moxie Crime Fighter, and they're going to be trying to transition out. It's Renegade making the challenge, but Messiah gets it over the top. HLMC looking for the pass to Renegade, but he is unable to make contact. Brave doesn't have a ton of boost in the tank, so he's going to lay that off for Lurk, who pushes forward, keeps it up high, and this is the dangerous area. That's a great shot on target and a better save by Brig. He keeps it level early here as we get this off with a fiery start, I would say. Already looking better. Oh, look, there's a pass in the middle, and it's turned aside.
Man. That first save in the first 10 seconds of gameplay was so huge here for the Moxie Crime Fighters. If they got scored on there, I honestly feel like we would have multiple goals against them right now. But the fact that they're able to stop it there kind of shows us that, hey, they're still in this. And even though they get scored on a minute and 12 seconds in, it's a much different game than game one.
It certainly is, but that's a tough spot there for the last man. I think it was HLMC, just effectively 1v3, right? You have to come up with some kind of touch. Can't quite do it. Two more players from Wisconsin Stout just bearing down on the finish there as they do get the opening goal, and Brave tried to get back down but didn't have the boost, so instead we see the big clearance the other way. HLMC trying to put it in the middle, no can do. And this has been I think the strongest area for Wisconsin Stout has been their possession, and their touches in the midfield are so good. They apply so much pressure on Moxie in that area of the field, and it's what's allowed them to sort of go crazy with their offense. They just keep that high line pressure. They don't let them break out, and you can see the effect of the previous game, and already in game one, I think we're seeing it as well.
I think the midfield challenges are playing a huge aspect in it, especially because we're not seeing the Moxie Crime Fighters going up for these 50-50s. If they were going up for them, they would be able to keep the ball in this orange half just so much more easily. But instead, they are almost playing very passive in their defense, and they're kind of just rotating instead of go. No, a big bump on the goal line takes HLMC out of the play, and Masai's able to just score this one through. Getting corralled, and now they take a 2-goal lead here for Wisconsin Stout.
And the other point I want to mention on that goal in particular is Wisconsin Stout actually double committed for that first touch, but they get the pinch out of it, and the third man, the aggression to just go up for it and say, I know that I can shoot this ball, and I know that you can't save it. It's not going to matter if I overextend for it. It's exactly what they do, and they get the goal for it. So I give them a lot of credit, Greek, for maintaining that aggressive style, just saying, hey, you know what? We can do what we want here. We're going to take the risks, and we're going to score the goals.
And I think they are taking these risks because they recognize that even if they do overextend and find themselves in a precarious situation, what we notice here is that the Moxie Crime Fighters, they take a whole lot of time to get the ball downfield and put it into a scoring position, and that's really detrimental to themselves in multiple ways, including on their defense, because Wisconsin Stout, they recognize this, and they just are not concerned at all.
No, they are not. We see the third goal going across the line there. Minute 49 left to play. This has been all Wisconsin Stout all series long. It's not quite the margin we saw in game one, but they're certainly picking up the pace once more as Brave's going to try and center that in the middle. It's wide open. Oh, the pass play nearly gets there. Brave was coming off the post. Couldn't quite get all the way around it. I love the idea, though. Would have been a great highlight.
It would have been great, but now we're going to see if there's some offense coming through. HLMC going to hit this one downfield. There's Renegade Duck, but did not read the bounce right off the wall. Oh, and almost an opportunity to score a goal, but it's just going to go back the other way.
Certainly is. And that's actually a pretty effective clearance there for Moxie as they need to try and come up with something, but that isn't it. It's Brave from the midfield, gets both defenders to bite, and this should just about wrap it up here in this series. I
And
feel
that's
for
tough.
Brig there because I think you anticipate the additional touch coming through. You have to respect it both ways, and never a fun spot there when you're just flying, hoping, praying that the defender or the offensive player just makes the touch into you. It's not a good time.
It's not, it's rough when you have to rely on others sometimes for a very crucial play. And now 40 seconds left. I mean, Wisconsin Stout looking pretty good for them, as they're gonna probably. You know I don't like calling things early, but they're going to be moving on from this series unless we see a miracle happen. 4 goals in 20 seconds. Not
I think
unheard
you're
of,
pretty
but
safe.
very unlikely.
I'm the same way. I really hate abusing the power of the caster curse. You saw it at the very opening sequence of the first game, where I said nothing's happening yet, and then they score. So makes it challenging as a bump's going to come through there and keep that one out. Brave just keeping it alive. And here we go. Oh, some 0-second shenanigans. Let's see it.
I want to see this one stay up as long as possible. That one's going to go towards the net. HLMC with the save, keeping it away. Wisconsin Stout, they're keeping it alive. That it's not going to be enough.
And congratulations to Wisconsin Stout for a very strong, convincing series, getting right through it. I mean, shut out their opponents in both games. They scored 10 goals. 10 goals in the first
my
game.
goodness.
Absolutely outrageous.
And again, outshooting Moxie. This time they let Moxie get a score or get a shot on. They had 1, but they still outshot them 13-1 in game 2. That's if you're other teams in this bracket and you're seeing Wisconsin Stout coming through on your branch of it, you gotta be a little bit concerned there.
Oh, no doubt about it. I think when you're battling it out here, you got to just see, what's going on the other side of the bracket. I think it can be difficult to tell, though. This is a relatively, smaller field, only 8 teams. I'm not sure how familiar they are with one another. You see a result like that. I think it's fair to say that Wisconsin South just was the better team. They had the pace, the technical ability, the rotations, everything was just so much faster. So it's difficult. It's difficult to tell when, there's a pretty significant mismatch like that. So we'll see. We'll see how they do. Obviously, it's a great start for them. They have to be feeling excellent, going through now into the winners semifinal. It's already a great position to be. If you just win this next series, you're already in a money position. So, that's a great feeling to have, from the outset.
It is, as we're looking at the bracket right now, we're tracking these teams, and uh, I think this first match went on really, really quickly, but we're going to be waiting to see who's going to be taking on the Missouri University of Science and Technology. That's going to be on the upper half of this bracket, our first semifinal of the evening. And, I'm excited because even though our first match didn't go all the way to 3 games, we got to see a whole lot come out of Wisconsin Stout, and I'm now very curious. Now I don't like picking my favorites just from the first match, but they really set the bar pretty high. So I'm very curious to see what the other teams in this bracket are going to bring to the field.
I'm with you on that, Greek. That is a very convincing performance. But, a team that I actually want to take a look at and, you know, take a look at is actually Maryville. They have a strong reputation in esports. Now, for Rocket League, I'm not sure. In other in other esports, Maryville tends to be a university that's really strong at the collegiate level for most esports. So I'm excited to see them. If we see them throughout the day today, I want to see what they can bring to the table because they have a very high standard to hold, across their university esports program. So we'll see. We'll see how they do.
Yeah. So now are we gonna start? Are we gonna start getting into a little bit into like a not a wager, not a wager, of course. But if these two teams
Mm.
somehow meet each other in this bracket, or are we now going to kind of have to pick sides, Perino? Or is this what it's going to take?
I have I have no dog in this fight, meet and Greek. I must say, I'm an impartial observer, right?
Of course, of
I have
course.
no affiliation to any of the teams here, so it's difficult for me to see. If I knew the teams better, it would be I'd be feel more comfortable in having a friendly wager on the desk. But truthfully, I am unable to provide a any meaningful analysis yet until we see them. Again, we're waiting to get in the lobbies and see the teams. So once I see them, I can give you a better answer. How about that?
Of course, of course. But with that, folks, we're actually going to cut to a quick break as we try to fill out the rest of this bracket. We're going to be back soon for one of our winners semifinal matches. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to get into our semi-final matches. And goodness gracious, Perino, we need to talk a little bit more about who are supporting this wonderful event. And I don't know if you want to take it or if I can take it. But I'm going to I'm just going to get right into it. Esports TV. It's the nation's first 24/7 esports channel available everywhere. And watch live esports events, interact with your favorite gamers and celebrities, and discover your favorite gamers' lifestyle. I was flipping through the channels the other day, and I
Hmm.
did find the esports TV channels, and I was like, "Oh goodness!" I found myself just like watching it for like half an hour. I was just like,
Ah,
so like, I was like, "Oh goodness, this is dangerous." I just have esports on TV. Oh
mm.
no, I could just find myself accidentally watching this for hours. I had to limit myself because it's awesome. It's great.
Yeah, the wall-to-wall coverage is certainly one of the
You get
hallmarks of
everything.
the cable product, and yeah, they really cover absolutely everything. So it's such a wonderful product, and we're very thankful to have them on board for this event. Of course, helping contribute to this event and having the prize pool, bringing the teams in, what have you. So thank you to them, and I think we'll wait on some of our other sponsors a moment. As we go through the day, we still have a long way to go,
Okay,
Greek.
yeah, we do.
We're only in the winter semifinal here.
It's
We're
true.
looking at our bracket, taking a look at the next matchup. It looks like we are going to be seeing Missouri Science and Technology taking on the RL Mavericks, the top side of winter semifinal. So not gonna be able to see Maryville. I brought it up before the break, Greek, and I said,
Man,
we'll have to see how they do, and they didn't make it out of the first round on the winner side. So if
that's
we're gonna see them, it's gonna come much
hey,
later.
it's okay. They're still in the lower bracket. There's still a chance for them. That's the beauty of the double elimination system is that hey, if we don't see them right now, there's a potential to see them later. You're absolutely right. So, I mean, Mavericks though, they 2-0'd them. So, they're going to come into this game feeling pretty hot.
Oh, no doubt about it. For Missouri Science and Technology, they actually went through against a disqualified opponent. So they had an AFK team, and they are just going to waltz right through. So a little bit of a different mindset too. Missouri's going to be coming in probably a little bit colder. They don't have that series to get a feel for it, get warmed up. Versus the Mavericks, who came out absolutely swinging in their games. We go through and take a look at their result. They won 5-3 in the first game and 7-0 game two of that series. So
Wow.
they got something going. We saw it with University of Wisconsin Stout in the series that we saw, coming out hot as well. Mavericks looking the same way.
Now, interesting thing here is that now that we're in the semifinals part of this bracket, all of our matches from here on forth on the stream at least will be best of five. So no more needing to only win two games, just two in a row, and you're done. Now it's going to be a little bit of a battle between these squads, and now it's gonna be less. There's gonna be less pressure if you drop game one in a substantial fashion. You're not gonna go into game two thinking oh goodness, I have to put all my marbles on the table here and just go all out. No, you still have some breathing room to bring yourself back into the series. And I think it's going to be very crucial. And hopefully, this means that we're going to see some great game fives and nothing would bring me more delight than to see some game five overtimes as well. And I'm sure, Perito,
No.
that out of all the matches that we'll get to this evening, I am sure we'll reach that milestone somewhere and it'll be fantastic. It's just going to be like, chef's kiss of Rocket League.
Oh, Greek, let me tell you, on all the casts, all the broadcasts that I've worked, I for whatever reason, I always seem to bring about the, you know, grand final, best of seven, overtime, what have you. I've been blessed, I think, actually, I would say, as a caster. It's a good caster curse to have, right? It's
Yeah,
more
yeah,
exciting
yeah,
for the audience. It's a good thing, and I've
yeah.
seen thing or two and done a thing or two with that, so I'm hopeful as well. Of course, now that I brought it up, it won't happen. that's just how it works. But
That's just how it
I
works.
remain optimistic. I would love to see a game 5 overtime. It's always so much fun. It's just so high intensity, so much pressure, especially when you have a tournament like this, a lot on the line behind it. It just adds to the drama and the suspense. That's what we want.
Yeah, but with that, we got our teams on the field. Let's get them into the game. Let's put a fresh 5 minutes on the clock and get started. As now we're just in suspense.
Yes, we do have
The
our.
players take the field. Let's do this.
I was gonna say we it's always one of those things. You tell them to go and they don't quite go right away, but nevertheless, we are hopped in, set, and ready to go. This is Missouri Science and Technology in the orange, the Mavericks in the blue, and I already love looking at the scoreboard and the titles here. Some fancy titles coming out there from Missouri Science and Tech. We have a Season 1 SSL, some tournament winners, a Season 2 GC in time. So
Whoa,
these guys
that's a
have
rare one.
these guys have a little bit of color in their titles. Different lineup, and they're going to be bringing the pressure out right away. Sug puts one on target, but Saviox had to get in the way, and I would say already the gameplay has been a bit elevated here. You could see the pace and intensity already really strong from both sides.
Yeah, speed is very crucial here. And right now, Taco bringing it downtown. One more. No, unable to do so as Shug is going to drop that down to Bernie.
When Bernie can't make the recovery on the sim there, always a dangerous spot when you're trying to go for that air dribble, double touch, etc. And if you get bumped onto the ceiling, sometimes it can be great.
No.
As now it's not going to be cleared out, and it's Sug who picks up a freebie, just drops right down to a Missouri Science and Technology, opening it up, wide open net.
Oh, that's rough because Wildcard was on the backboard ready to get the clear and just whiffs it. That ball drops straight down for Sug. Easy goal. And that kind of deflates the offense a little bit, as we're almost seeing more goal opportunities coming out from Missouri Science and Technology.
Yeah, and the other part of that as well is, I have to say this has been very even from the start, and for the Mavericks, it just throws you off rhythm. It's a somewhat straightforward backboard clearance. You just can't make contact. You give them a gift, and it just slows your roll. Here the same thing. Sug has a second one lined up for him here. And again, it's just on the pass out, just trying to get the clearance. There's not enough power on it, and Sug just taps it through. Makes it look easy.
And right here, though, there's a couple of things that happened on that play that could have been a little bit of a better touch, per se. The biggest thing I saw was just hitting the ball towards your own center of field, where the offense is already crashing through. It's always rough. If you can just hit that to the outside, infinitely better, and you create more breathing room for your defense. So it's these little decisions, Bruno, that really matter in games like this where the teams are pretty even.
Well, that's a great save from Taco on the line there. I thought for sure it looked like number 3 coming through for Mizzou, but instead we hold on to her 2-goal advantage as Sug puts that one up off the ceiling, and Bernie's there, but he can't get enough power on it. Again, tough clearance for Wildcard. His time is going to stick around, and another save from Taco. The man seemingly been everywhere on the goal line, just pulling up his scoreboard here. Already 3 saves to his name, so he's been putting in the work on defense.
Yeah, and right here, a shot. Oh, that could have been an open opportunity, but a little bit of interference on the defenders. They were stuck on each other. Time and Bernie, that's always rough when you jumble up your own teammate, but Wildcard taking full advantage of the opportunity and halves the lead.
And that is such a critical goal for the Mavericks. When you get that one back, it gives you so much more confidence. One goal is so easy, but here goes Sug trying to flip reset. Saviox getting up and at that one. And I actually give so much credit to the defender there. When you have a player going through for that kind of touch, that's exactly how you need to play it. Just get up quick, get up fast, get in the way of him. Don't let him use that flip reset. It's exactly what they did. And this could be problematic as Sugg nearly found the back of the net once more.
And now the defense, the Mavericks, they're keeping pace, but if they can just increase it slightly, they'll have a much easier time getting this ball at their own half and creating some more offensive opportunities. They're still kind of playing on the back heel of it. It's time now. He's going to be able to just flip that in. No, it's not. Here comes Sugg to pass it. No. Stays barely out, and it's these last-second heroics that are keeping Mavericks afloat right now. But if you're a Mavericks fan, it's a little scary.
Certainly, they are waiting until the very last second to get that ball off the line, but it's enough, right? And that's the thing. When you stretch the defense all the way out, all that matters is that you can make a good save and just get the touch away. That's how you diffuse the danger as Wildcard's trying to pick it up in the corner once more. Oh, nobody making contact there, and Saviok's actually going to bounce it over to Taco. He avoids the bump.
Oh, what is that? No way, Taco! What? Burrito, are my eyes deceiving me? Look at this. Brings it downfield and also gets the touch there. You cannot write the script.
I think the word that we use there, Greek, is calculated. That's what that effort was, as Taco just found himself in the right spot at the right time, just barely squeezing that one inside the post, and now all of a sudden we have a tie ball game. You know, the Missouri Science and Technology squad started this game so strong. They looked so commanding, and now with 20 seconds left, they're in a spot once more trying to regain that lead. A little bit demoralizing, but I think they're going to be able to build some pressure towards the end. You can see the boost indicators on the blue side fairly low, but that's a great challenge, and that'll help out the Mavericks immensely. As here we go, 3 seconds left, a big clearance from Time, and Taco's keeping it up.
Wow.
Nobody able to follow up though. Overtime, Greek.
Overtime, and now we're gonna have to see here. The Mavericks keep this one up. They did a fantastic job really bringing this back, and now they're coming in with some confident touches of their own, and you can see now this is a completely different team.
Yes, absolutely. They're certainly bringing the fight much more to Missouri S&T here, where they're not allowing them the same kind of space, the same kind of time that we saw in the outside of this game. It's having a tremendous impact as Wildcard's going to try and put that one to the middle. Nobody home. Sugg, big, deep, booming clearance out. He's actually going to get one more touch into the middle, but Bernie's not going to be there in time. Nobody pressed up all the way. Didn't want to overextend. You know, we saw the demolition come out on the side, and just playing it safe, especially in overtime. You don't want to be the reason.
Oh no!
You can't get there.
I thought for sure that was going to go in. I thought the defense was going to bite at that play, but they just did not falter. A minute into overtime. No one trying to make a mistake right now.
It's certainly that feeling, Greek, where both teams are just playing to not lose at the moment. You know, not overextending. Certainly still playing well. As here comes Bernie with a great pass into the middle, but Wildcard is all over that one. He saw that from a mile out, and Bernie's shot is off the post, and Saviox gets in the way of another shot attempt. So here come the Mavericks in transition. That'll get stalled out once more. Back and forth we go. Nobody able to break the deadlock as we approach the 2-minute mark of overtime.
That one's on target.
That one's just gonna fly in.
And I can't believe I can't believe that's how we end it. Just from downtown, nobody covering that front post for Missouri Science and Tech, and the Mavericks.
Oh my!
From 2 goals down to 1 goal up, take the first game.
Wow, that was everything you could ask for in a Rocket League match. I mean, this had like all the main pieces of like an expository story. You had your hook, and then you had like the main body of it, and then you had, it's just the storyline writes itself. And the Mavericks, I think, did a fantastic job of convincing me that the second half of this game was truly what they are. It's not the photo finish they were looking for in overtime, but they're going to take it. That's for
Abs-
sure.
Absolutely. And I'm just looking at the post-game statistics here that I have in front of me. Mavericks came out with 11 saves in that game. Sugg for Missouri on his own, 10 shots. So,
Oh my goodness.
it was definitely a game of back and forth, and we felt that pressure relentlessly early on from Missouri Science and Tech. I just think they're going to want a couple of those chances back. I think if they can get more of those shots to go all the way across the line, it'll certainly help their case. And, we're about ready, set to go for game number 2. And here comes a chess match, right? Best of 5. So Mavericks take the first, and we're going to see who takes the second here in just a moment as we're getting it back underway. Another fun series coming up, Greek.
Yeah, and pen on paper, if the Mavericks take game 2, I mean, they put themselves in a fantastic position to take this series, even if the odds are against them just because of how strong of a team Missouri Science and Technology is, especially with time up in the air and threatening early. But this one might actually go in on itself. No, it's going to bounce off the crossbar. The best defender.
Can be either your best friend or your worst nightmare. It's actually nobody's home for this.
It?
So wild card is just going to make the turn and find the goal. Already the Mavericks jumping out to a lead here. They played from behind for the majority of game 1. That will not be the case here as they strike first.
Yeah, and right there, double commit on the Missouri Science and Tech defense side. They both went to that corner, leaving that goal wide open. And the Mavericks will take control here early on in game 2. But will this lead hold? That's the prime question.
It is certainly something Missouri Science and Tech will be thinking about as they're trying to get the transition working. But that's a great interception in the midfield, and Sugg can't make contact. So possession stays with Missouri, but perhaps a little more of an awkward spot. Time trying to get over to Sugg, and he can put it through the corner as a couple of players jump at that, and it's a great save from Taco. How on earth did he get enough on that? I have no idea. As another one comes out from Saviox once more, and the Mavericks, well, the defensive prowess remained strong in game 2.
And they're still coming out with these last second saves. That's a great pass center, but no one's back. That's going to be an open opportunity for Sugg. He just has to hit that one in. He gets it by Taco. We have a tie game.
There's only so many times you can get away with making that last second save. Taco nearly got there. He was so close, but just unable to get it all the way across. And Missouri coming through. Huge goal right there. Brings them back on level terms. And this has now become a bit of a slugfest as Bernie on the kickoff is just going to capitalize on a slow 50-50 right in front of the net. Saviox can't get the best touch, and Bernie just inside the post. Good enough.
And that's where I always harp on these teams. Backboard defense, so critical. That's like the #1 thing I think most of these teams they have to find something to improve upon. It's almost always that. You can see why it's so critical right there. Now they're down by a goal. Let's see if Mavericks can bring this one back. Or Taco's gonna miss. Oh no! Bernie's gonna score.
And this is actually a really strong touch from Sugg there. Just recognizing the demolition was in play and only one defender back. I'm not sure that Taco had too much boost in the tank there. Just wasn't able to get all the way up to it. And instead we see another goal coming out for Missouri Science and Tech. And this is more what they were looking for, Greek. We talk about the shots and the saves from last game. Well, this time the shots are just going in for Missouri.
And now to see here, over 3 minutes to go. Missouri Science and Technology tie it up. We know they can. Unbelievable save from Wildcard. Pre-jumping that like 20 minutes in advance.
Oh, that's Bernie once more. That's a hat trick for him. And this is the second time he's done it. He just put himself in a good spot close to the net. Just has the ball coming out. That's actually a tremendous finish to be able to get outside of that ball and put it back inside the post. I mean, that's really good stuff.
And again, we're seeing the defense here for Mavericks when they're going for these defensive touches, they still are putting it center. They got to start moving that towards the corner. What an unbelievable touch from Time. It didn't go in, but it was still very impressive.
And sometimes the best looking ones are the ones that just don't quite make it. It certainly would have made our highlight reel, I think, had he scored that one. As we continue on with 2 minutes to play, it's going to be Missouri Science Tech on the transition, and Sugg, look at the power that he gets on this one. It has been an explosion of offense, all in favor of the orange side. I think he pinched that with Taco, who's just trying to get that out.
And right here now, you can't really blame Mavericks for playing extremely pushed up because they were down by 3, now they're down by 4. They're just going to go full speed ahead here. They need to score some goals to have a chance of coming back on this one, but instead, Missouri Science and Tech, they're going to just keep adding on to their lead.
And again, that's Time just getting another great touch there. Can't quite find back of the net, but he seemingly always has a teammate coming up behind him, and that's the best feeling, when you can rely on your teammates to be in good spots and clean up the mess, so to speak. Well, results in 6 goals for Missouri Science and Tech, make it 7. Excuse me. Time with the 50-50 straight into the opposition net.
Right here, just looking at the defense, the positioning, really unfortunate because he had a little bit of double commit in midfield, and Savax was the last player back in the corner. Unfortunate circumstances leading that one, but when you're down by 6, again, you're trying to really bring this ball downfield and get some more shots on net, some goals. Because now you're looking at not coming back in Game 2, but at least putting yourself in a good position for when Game 3 rolls around. You can make a more commanding case for yourself.
Absolutely, and especially the turnaround that we've seen from Missouri Science and Tech. I think this was maybe a bit cathartic for them. I thought in the first game they maybe were hard done by, just weren't able to capitalize on all the pressure that they had. And well, that's what they're doing in Game 2. For every single shot that didn't go in Game 1, it's finding the back of the net here.
They're putting them all on target. They are coming into Game 2 saying, all right, Game 1, not our best showing, but we're going to come out here right now and prove to everyone what we're made of. And then scroll on through to Game 3 and start taking some more games.
We are nearly at the conclusion. Again, we don't like calling them early, but this is almost certainly a Missouri Science and Tech victory, as Bernie, really aggressive touch there, trying to just sneak that one back inside the top corner. Can't do it. Sugg, the pass out to the middle, and Bernie doesn't miss those. He's got 5 to his name, more than half of his team's goals, as Missouri Science and Tech are just firing on all cylinders.
They are, and looking at Mavericks right now, just checking the quick scoreboard, they got 3 shots total on goal, but Missouri Science and Technology, Castromat, they got 17.
Ooh. It's a bit heavy there, Greek.
It is, absolutely. And there's still time left in this game, and I am certain Missouri Science and Technology are going to keep adding to their shot total, as Bernie's going to go for another one. No.
We both saw that coming there with the flip reset. As that's a tremendous redirect in, Time's going to get credit.
No way.
I think it was going in regardless. Look at
I
this
think
touch.
it was too. This is unreal from Sugg. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that was going in. Time totally stole that.
Woo.
Oh my goodness. That was dirty. Wow.
Well, there's the finishing and technical prowess on full display there, as now they're just having fun with it. 15 seconds left to go. Bernie makes it 11. Why not? We crossed double digits in the previous series, and we're back at it once more. And Greg, I think I could safely call this one just about done and over. I don't know. 10 goal difference, 13 seconds. I think we're safe.
I think we are safe. You'll have to score a goal every second, which you'd have to impress me with 10 pinch goals off the kickoff to make that happen. I don't think that's going to, unfortunately, happen for Reno, as they're just going to keep on increasing this total.
I think this is actually an own goal here. I want to see it once more. I'm pretty sure this actually just got redirected off the crossbar. And, wild card, I have to say, if that was on the other end, nasty finish, but not quite the right way.
Not quite, but now we're gonna go into game 3, and after watching the Mavericks in game 1, we were thinking like, okay, now we got something here. But after this dominating performance from Missouri Science and Technology, maybe it was just game 1 they started a little cold. But they're starting to turn it up now, and I have a feeling that the Burners are going to remain hot going into game 3.
Oh, they can't quite get the last one there at 0 seconds. It did drop down, but what did not drop was the scoreline. 12-1. Missouri Science and Technology coming out with, I mean, just a pure onslaught. Looking at the numbers, 12 goals,
Oh my
23
goodness.
shots, and Mavericks, to their credit, I would say in a lower scoring game, 7 saves is kind of a lot, but relative to 12 goals, Reek, it's a lot happening there, gotta say.
Well, I was going back in my mind when I was telling the stream about how at a certain point in the game, it was towards the end of the game, Mavericks had only 3 shots on net, but they just could not add the final shot tally still remained 3 at the end of the game. They just had no offensive production that game. And let's see here in game 3, with a fresh 5 minutes, can they write a different story?
As we're going to hop straight into it here, game number 3 coming at you. Both teams have won a game. The winner of this will put themselves on series points. That one's going to drop down for Bernie, and it hits off the crossbar off the ground, and Sugg has to come through and put it all the way across the line, as Missouri Science and Tech have not let go from the gas pedal. It is the train running off the tracks here early, game 3.
And that's a tough spot to be if you're wild card, with the ball bouncing extremely quickly up and down in front of your net, not sure which way to go to make a save. And you're last man back. If I was last man back, I wouldn't know what to do there either.
Never a fun spot there, because you're sort of just hoping that a teammate can bail you out, and maybe you just jump and hope that you get the angle right. If an attacking player gets to it first, it's just not a good time, as Suggs actually get bumped by his own teammate Bernie there, and maybe throw off that play a little bit. Times slowing it down. Love the decision making there, just to take it slow and just force them into a challenge, right? He saw that his teammates were a little bit overextended. That's fine. Give them time and space to recover. And here you go, Missouri Science and Tech just cruising right along.
And yeah, I was about to comment how we might see a 3-on-1 opportunity, but you're right. Time just took the gas right out of the Mavericks, and that was really a one-man defense. And it's not just Time doing this either. All 3 of these Missouri Science and Tech players, unimaginably talented game, and their individual actions have lasting impacts. And Sugg's gonna hit this one in. Here we go.
Certainly some great impact there. It was Time, and look at the bounce that ball takes. It drops off the crease, I would say. The section between the wall and the ceiling can create some awkward bounces there, and it just dropped right back down. Sugg in a great spot, gets the finish, and look at the back pass as well. It's just such a lovely transition. He gets a second touch to it and allows his team to move forward. I mean, all 3 players, as you said, just really contributing, making great touches, putting the Mavericks in dire straits, really.
Yeah, and we're concerned right now. This is only a 2-goal lead, but we are still very concerned here for the Mavericks. Oh no, indeed. Here comes Time. Throws it in. 3-goal lead. Nothing is safe here. You're the Mavericks. Goodness gracious. Bernie doing everything to get that bounce back to Time.
I think he's going to regret not finishing that. It was a perfect setup. I mean, he had everything going for it. We saw in the director cam there, just perfectly lined up, and not quite able to get it across the line. But again, that's what you have your teammates for, just coming right back through and firing that ball across the line there. I think it was time coming through and just making a great finish. So when you have all three players playing at this kind of level, Greek, I mean, this is the result that we see. It's just relentless. It's passing. It's burning with another goal. It's just getting a little bit out of hand here.
It is, and it's tough because you can tell the Mavericks are doing everything they could possibly in their defensive rotation in order to get themselves in a prepared enough position to make a stop. However, Missouri Science and Tech, they're just moving the ball so quickly, it's hard to keep up. And at that point, that's when things start to fall apart. And it's unfortunate because right here on this play, Taco was in prime position, I believe just picking up a full 100 boost from that corner, but not being able to get a touch on that ball just leads to that goal. So it's these little mistakes that really add up here.
Yeah, we see the defense quickly becoming an issue for the Mavericks. That's just another kickoff goal straight from the top. Is wild card this time, not able to make contact, and I think that's a smart adjustment from Missouri as well. They are putting themselves in positions where they're not necessarily going by whether or not the Mavericks are going to get a touch on the ball. They're just saying if they miss, then we're going to absolutely punish. They did it twice in a row there. I don't want to say disrespect, that's not the right word, but they're not giving them the credit for the touches when it's moving that fast off the backboard. They're just effectively camping and waiting on a miss.
Exactly. As Wildcard's going to have a little bit of a awkward touch, but it's going to somehow work out. And now Taco's to receive. This ball is past the entire defense. No one is home. This just needs to go in. Taco scores their first goal in about, I want to guesstimate, about 8 minutes of Rocket League. And it comes from the entire Missouri Science and Tech offense just completely overextended.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Is when you're waiting on the opposition to make mistakes, you're positioning that aggressively for it. Well, when they do get good touches and they do get good clearances, you get caught on the other end. It's, oh goodness, time nearly had another highlight reel goal, but it'll be interesting to see. I don't think it'll make a difference here, Game 3, Greek, but looking ahead a little bit, potentially Game 4, maybe that's something the Mavericks can try to exploit. Just say, hey, we're gonna make these touches, off the backboard, coming across our net, and we're just gonna hit you on the counterattack. So certainly something to look forward to.
And honestly, thinking about Game 1, that's exactly what they did in the latter half of the game, and it allowed them to come back. So if they can recreate that, I think it will pay them off in dividends. But with 30 seconds left, I don't think they're going to come back from a 5-goal deficit. It's just going to be a little bit too difficult. But then they're going to go into Game 4, and the treacherous point is we reach a 7-1 scoreline here in Game 2, or Game 3, sorry.
Yes, the Brazil coming out in favor of Missouri Science and Tech. And they just seem to score in every which way, right? They go for great technical goals. They have infield passing, but they're also capable of, going for the bumps and demo plays, and everything just working their way as we wind this one down. Well, that was nearly a good goal from Taco, but credit to the Science and Tech defense for holding out, trying to preserve the Brazil. Can they do it? Time gets up high and works it into the corner. He gets it by everyone. That one's going to go all the way back out. Will it be kept up is the question. Yes, for now, but it's not enough. Missouri Science and Tech once more convincing Game 3.
And now, Perino, another game. They've actually, Missouri Science and Tech, they didn't score as many goals, but they kept Mavericks at just a single goal like they did in Game 2, but they also limited them to only 2 shots. Now, Game 2, they were limited to 3, so they did even better in that regard on their defensive half. So Mavericks now going into Game 4, they're going to be playing basically on their back heels now from this point on, and it's going to be a much more high pressure scenario for them. However, I think the point that we were both kind of idling towards in game 3 was that if they can take advantage of these overextension situations coming from Missouri Science and Tech, and they play a very conservative style of defense, they can make things happen. And that's what they did in game 1 in the latter half. Can they recreate this in game 4? They know what they have to do. And of course, sure, there were a couple mechanical errors that happened in game 3 that led to multiple goals against them, but those are okay. As long as you have your defense back and your next player in rotation ready to make the save, it'll help you out immensely, and those mechanical errors will be diminished.
And that was the exact same point I was going to make. You just have to trust the mechanics. I wonder if it's maybe a team unnerved in the Mavericks where they feel the pressure perhaps of being down by so much, especially over the course of 2 games, but no time to think about it here. We're getting game number 4 underway. Missouri Science and Tech 1 win away from advancing into the winners final. Here we go. Sayok is going to make a challenge, but it's Sugg who is just dribbling that one across.
Oh, man.
Time is the one who sneaks it over the line, and as we have said many a time here in the series, Missouri Science and Tech find the goal. They find the back of the net, getting themselves ahead early.
And that's actually excellent job from Time on that, seeing through the smoke screen and getting in front of that ball to make the correct touch to score it. Very good heads-up play. Let's see now. The Savioks can get this ball downtown. Off the ceiling, no touch available. But now, actually, you know what's interesting, Perino, is we are starting to see a little bit more aggression coming up from Mavericks this game, but it doesn't matter. Look at this touch from Bernie. Oh, my goodness.
And the funny thing is there were actually 2 players. You could see somebody was joining. I couldn't even tell.
Yeah,
it's hard to see in the replay.
Somebody was up for that.
Sugg was up there with Bernie, and one of them was going to score. You just felt that way, and both sort of had a read on it, different angles. Nobody on the Mavericks able to discern it, though, as Time is going to put another one back on. He's going to go again. He has the boost. It's off the crossbar, bouncing back down, and it's Bernie on the follow-up. And already fast 3 goals. We're only a minute and 13 seconds into this one. There's some good aftermath.
That's a that's a tough position to be if you're Savioks being the last player on that goal line to have to make a save. But one thing you have to realize is that you can't wait for that ball to bounce in front of you. Oh my goodness, Bernie. Look at this angle. Talk about threading the needle and doing everything to bring this ball all the way downfield and also getting the scoring touch on it. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, and again, that's just Bernie sitting there and waiting on, a player to not make the touch. I think it was wild card on the wall there, just hesitated, didn't want to bring the ball across, maybe just didn't have the confidence to, find a touch going all the way across the net. It is a dangerous play, but one that he had to make is Bernie was just waiting in the corner. It's already a hat trick for him, 3 goals on 3 shots. Pretty efficient moves, and Missouri Science and Tech looking to add to the tally. Sugg up for the double touch, but there's that backboard defense from Savioks as he saves 1. Taka saves a 2nd. Time still keeping it in. He's going to center it up for Bernie, who does not miss. 4 for 4. Goodness.
Bernie just playing out of his mind right here, but not to discredit this pass from Time, though, because that was just excellent seeing your teammate getting ready for that play. And you just know that, and that's what's really so great about this Missouri Science and Tech squad here, Burrito, is that they trust each other so much. They know if they center that ball or they put a pass out there, one of their teammates is going to be there for the shot.
It is all about having trust and faith in one another. If you want to play at a high level, you can see Missouri Science and Tech have exactly that. They had a little bit of trouble in game 1, but it has not been the case ever since, as we are halfway through game number 4 here. They're playing for their spot in the winners final. Here we see another goal come through. Who else? I mean, it's got to be Bernie once more. 5 for 5. You know, he really is pushing for the 1,000-point mark in this game.
I think he might reach it, especially with this one here. And again, it's so tough for this defense of the Mavericks because they're trying their best to get in front or to even corral this ball or stop the offense, but they're just not quick enough to get there. And now watch this pass from Time all the way to Bernie. Almost makes contact. I thought that was going in. It just felt like it.
You know, I was looking at Bernie's perspective there, and it was so close. It's an inch perfect pass. It's such a difficult angle to get up to it, though. When you're coming up above the ball like that and you're trying to put it all the way back down so high above that backboard, it's never an easy thing. For players of this caliber, they will probably be more successful at it than most, but nevertheless, we continue on here. It's a 6-goal cushion for Missouri Science and Tech as Wildcard trying to get the challenge, trying to get anything going for the Mavericks. Going to be centered across. Time having none of it, though. Bernie up in the air once more is working with Suggo. I think actually got his flipper set. He's going to use it. Not enough boost, though. 2 players on the clearance. Oh, but Wildcard can't make contact once more. The pass from Bernie over to Time. Denied once more. Can he put another goal in? Yes, he can. He has a double hat trick. He has 896 points at the moment.
Oh my
this
goodness.
Is Bernie's game, and we're just watching.
It really is. Wow. 6.
Oh
6.
no!
Oh my
the
goodness.
Speed flip
7
put him over.
7. He 1,006 points for Bernie.
I mean,
unreal.
That's flawlessly executed speed flip. There's, if you're not prepared to handle that, there's nothing you can do about it.
That is just unbelievable.
Again, it's his show, and we are just here to watch.
And now we'll see. The Mavericks can get a consolation goal here. Marino, this is just unprecedented.
Yeah,
one player just.
I'm trying to find
unreal.
The words. I'm trying to find the words, Greg. It's just not coming to me at the moment. I mean, just it's so hard to find dominance at this level. You know, I thought that Missouri Science and Tech, you know, had a strong-looking squad at the beginning, you know, and maybe they were a little off kilter on game 1, but they have just been absolutely all over the place. And it's kind of everything, right? You know, it's the speed, it's the shooting, it's the passing, it's the reads on defense and on offense. They just have seemingly everything. As Bernie, I mean, sure, 8
goals. 8 for 8. Oh my goodness.
I mean, but just the aggression and the turn, you know, it's wide open. It's a perfect pass from Time. You know, he just gets enough of a touch. You know, doesn't need to do too much. I mean, what are you supposed to do, really?
Exactly. And we're talking about all of Bernie's goals here. But take a look at Time with the 5 assists here in game 4. That is just a team player. And, you know, Time making it up for stealing Suggs' excellent shot from, I believe it was game 3. So this team, Missouri Science and Tech, they are just all over the place. But it is sometimes when you say they're all over the place, it's in a negative connotation. But here it's positive. It's just like it is unbelievable what they're bringing to the table right now. And right now for Mavericks, it's okay. You drop this series, you're going to go down to the lower bracket. You're going to get your shot again. But, man, this was Missouri Science and Tech show, but really it was Bernie's show, at least here in Game 4. Goodness gracious.
Yeah,
wow.
The last point I want to bring up about, you know, this particular Game 4 as well is obviously the offense was crazy, especially from Bernie. But Greek, they didn't even allow the Mavericks to take a single shot on net.
Oh my goodness.
They completely, I mean, that's a pure shutout, not even a shot on goal conceded. So
Wow.
certainly working on both ends there. And, you asked about predictions before the first break that we had. I'm going to give you an amended prediction here, Meet and Greek. I think this is the Missouri Science and Tech's tournament. I mean, just the level of play that we saw right there is absolutely crazy. We do have a winners final coming up next. I think we're going to be seeing the University of Wisconsin Stout again, but this Missouri Science and Tech squad, they are just something else.
Perino. Game 2. MST allowed 3 shots on goal. Game 3, they allowed 2 shots on goal. And then you're right, game 4, 0.
Just
They just raised the bar every single time while just unloading their shot count like crazy. I don't know how they do it. They are just incredible.
Again,
their midfield presence attributed to a lot of that because they just did not allow the Mavericks to bring that ball out of their own half at all. And when it was, they were able to corral them into the corners and just take it away. It's unreal.
It certainly was. As ladies and gentlemen, that was another strong performance that we saw out of one team. Missouri Science and Tech dominating their way to the winners final. But we're going to be taking a short break here on the desk. Coming up next, we will have that winners final matchup. You're going to see Missouri Science and Tech once again. They'll be playing the University of Wisconsin Stout. So stay with us. Stay tuned. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. We'll see you on the other side.
Go for it.
Okay, so for 1,000 Rocket League credits, we got Gotcha Peter for the winner of it.
Hey.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Esports College and Career Pathways we are dedicated to helping gamers, players really improve their game, whether at the collegiate level like we are today or as a career.
So go to your buddy and be like, hey, I got paid to play video game and get good grades. What did you get money for?
We really want to give a foundation for gamers to come in, express themselves in their own way, give them a competitive base setting, and provide them with the equipment necessary to, thrive in that competitive setting.
We looked at the resources that are available, and even yesterday I was talking to parents and players, and they didn't even know there were varsity teams at the college level, let alone that there's scholarships. So we took upon ourselves that we really want to put together these combines, not just like Rocket League we're doing now, but we're doing League of Legends in 2 weeks. And beyond that, we're probably going to do Fortnite to really give resources and a recruitment tool for the colleges, but really to get these players in front of the right people at the right time.
Go for it.
Okay, so for 1,000 Rocket League credits, we got Gotcha Peter for the winner of it.
Hey.
Congratulations.
There we go.
Esports College and Career Pathways.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Esports CCP. We are here with some more Rocket League action. Of course, my name is Perino. I am joined on the desk by the one and only Meat and Greek.
Wow. I
You
feel
know,
so honored, Perino, to be with you on here. Don't be
it
saying
is
it like that. I feel honored to be with you, my friend.
Well, I'm always trying to hype up my colleagues in any way that I can. I'm trying to hype up our
I'm already
action.
hyped.
It's what we it's what we try to do here as professionals on the broadcast. Is we're going to be getting into our winners final here in just a moment. We saw two very strong performances in our prior series. One from the University of Wisconsin Stout, and two from Missouri Science and Technology. They will be going head to head, two Titans colliding, best of 5. Greek, we're going to get into it pretty quick. I'll ask you before we go, who do you got?
Oh man, Bruno, this is a tough one. We spoke about it a little bit before the break. So I can't bet against this Missouri Science and Tech squad. Just by look, even though I had my doubts about how this is gonna be so close. Wisconsin Stout, they were a great team, and they were able to win their first series 10-4 game 1, or 10-0 game 1, 4-0 game 2. But this Missouri Science and Tech squad were just, once they woke up after that game 1 hiccup against the Mavericks, it was just completely different team. I think it's going to go to them, but I think the series will go to game 5. It will be very, very close.
I agree with you on your pick with Missouri Science and Tech, but I think they're going to do it even faster than that. Just completely lights out in the last couple of games there.
Way.
They were firing on absolutely all cylinders there. Just nothing to be done about it, truly, from the opposition. And when a team's playing at that level, there's only so much you can do, right?
They're not
when
going
they
to stop.
Yeah, when they don't miss, they have, again, perfect passing, rotations, shot selection. We can go line by line with them. They've got all of their bases covered.
Are you telling me that you're going to call a sweep for them?
I'm willing to put that forward, Greek. I'm willing to put it forward. But we'll see. Hey, we'll see.
You're right.
But
we'll see what happens.
Call me a believer after watching that game. Just call me a believer. I'm a Bernie believer.
Bernie went out of his mind in that last game 4, scoring 8 goals. It went 8 for 8. Not just like 8 goals on like a million shot attempts, but 8 goals on 8 shot attempts.
Perfect.
Just it is unbelievable. That's almost like a perfect game of bowling.
It feels that way, right? Going for, how many is it? 12 strikes, right? Bowling?
I think so. I'm not a bowler.
Right.
I was hoping that it was close to 8.
It's been a little bit since the lanes have been open, but
yeah, of course.
I think it's 12 strikes, right? 10 frames, and then you get last 2 more in the 10th.
I think so.
Perfect. Right.
300.
Yeah.
I don't know
Again, caster math. Listen.
If there's any math on here, it's going to be done extremely quick, and it's going to always be wrong, and we're just going to have to accept that. That's okay.
We certainly are, as we're going through and getting ready for our next series here. I do actually want to give a shout out to one of our presenting sponsors for this event. We love to have a great company on board by the name of Sector 6 Apparel. They are one of the best brands in esports right now. They do turnkey on-demand printing for teams of all shapes and sizes, doing jerseys, t-shirts, whatever, all sorts of apparel. These guys are some of the best in the business. they're also providing the second place team with Marines branded custom jerseys with their gamer tags. So again, huge shout out to Sector 6. They are a huge name up and coming in the scene, and we love having them as a partner. They've been very gracious to us. So thank you guys. We appreciate it.
I can't wait for these players to get those jerseys, tweet them out, because I want to see those threads and how like just awesome they look. And it's not often that a lot of these players get the opportunity to play for some sweet jerseys, especially custom ones as well. On top of that, they get to rep. They get to rep themselves as winners. Well, second place, they're still winners. They're still winners. They're still winners.
Nothing wrong with coming in second place, especially an event of this caliber. But yes, we're so thankful to have so many different groups represented on board with the event this evening, and we're just waiting on getting players in the lobby. We're setting up, we're hanging out on the desk. Greek and I I love hanging out with this man. So we get to sit on the desk. It's not often we get to work together on too many things, but we could sit here and talk Rocket League all day long. In fact, at a professional level, just looking at the top, we saw Team Envy, my team, come through and drill a 4-0 final over Space Station Gaming. So, congrats to Team Envy, Turbo, Atomic, and Mist for another great performance there on the main Rocket League channel. They were popping off. I didn't get to watch, but from what I heard, from the clips that I saw, pretty good, gotta say.
That's two splits in a row now that they're able to take.
Yes, it certainly is.
That's just, oh my goodness. That's just like, now you have to really start thinking. Now you really have to start thinking about, like, who's the best team in the world right now. I mean,
oh man,
that's
in North America or internationally?
Oh, this is so tough too. That's tough. We won't know. All right. So obviously, in my opinion, best team in North America. I mean, it kind of says itself. It kind of states it for itself. Envy is just unreal. But if we're talking about the world, oh man, if you say one thing or another,
yes, I understand.
It's not pretty. It's not pretty. But
well, BDS would be the other contender, right? From EU, they have been absolutely on fire across the pond over there, and BDS certainly coming through and making their presence felt. I do think Envy, BDS, probably NRG still up there, sort of rounding out a top 3. I'd feel good about that.
I think it's pretty good, but you know what we need to land. We need to land. Oh man.
Hopefully
next
soon.
Year,
Hopefully
next
soon.
year, I think once everyone's good and we're good to go and we can have it, it's just gonna be, I cannot wait for that. It's gonna be the best time. And I can't wait to see everyone again. That'll be so great.
I know. Hey, listen, if it's North America again, I'm pretty set on going. So maybe we can.
Me too. We'll
meet
hang
in
out
person.
for sure.
Oh yeah, we will. We'll get that sorted out as we are loading up our lobby here, and we had to do a couple of remakes. So trying to find good server is always a difficult task. But I think we're all here now. We've got production loaded in. Greek and I are in. We've got 2 sets of teams in here, and I'm pretty sure they're set and ready to go. So we'll be getting started in just a few moments.
Yeah, let's get these players on the field. Fresh 5 minutes on the clock. It's the winner's final. Here, winner of this one will go on to the grand finals. The loser will go down to the lower bracket into the lower finals, where they will attempt to fight their way back up into the grands. Fresh 5 minutes on the clock. Best of 5, of course. Let's take this one away, Perino. This is going to be an awesome one.
It certainly will, as Brave will get us started off the kickoff there. Messiah trying to center it up, but Bernie is there to make the challenge. Pressure being applied early by Wisconsin. Oh, and Sugar can't make the touch there. Might be a new player addition. I'm not sure.
I think that's Sug.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had to think about it for a second. I was like, wait. Is that someone new? No, it's just not using the nickname, as we are getting both sets of rosters underway here. Brave can't make contact in the corner, but Messiah will follow up for him instead, as Sugar is going to put that in the corner, up and away by Bernie. End-to-end stuff so far. Nobody getting the better of one another yet, but here comes a decent look for Missouri S&T. It's Sugar trying to go for the double touch, but it's saved by Messiah out of the corner. That was a pretty decent look. Minute through the game, Greek.
It was.
Pretty
You can
tame
already
so
tell.
far.
You can tell that this game is just much closer compared to our other series. These teams are very competitive one another. I think it's a fantastic matchup. And it's interesting to be a minute and a half in this game. And we're so used to these teams just scoring unbelievable amounts of goals, but the scoreline's still scoreless.
And I have to say, I'm actually impressed with Wisconsin Stout earlier. I know I had Missouri S&T pegged to run the table here, but, you know, it's a pretty immediate match in skill. You know, both sides forcing each other to be creative and trying to find the openings in the defense that just hasn't happened yet. And so already you could see the difference, right? You know, when you have very close matchup like this, everybody is cautious of one another. Nobody's being too overtly aggressive. But here we go. Here's the pass play. Trying to get a
beautiful.
Rave. Couldn't get enough power on it, but Lurk is there on the follow-through. He's rocking that Susquehanna Sonics decal, and he's going to open us up here. First goal of the series goes the way of Wisconsin Stout.
And this play here really utilizes everyone on the Wisconsin Stout roster. First, you had Messiah who brings it downfield, and then you have Brave to set up the shot, and then Lurk to score it. It's just unbelievable chemistry leading to that shot, and it pays off well for them. They take the lead about a halfway mark.
So that's a really good challenge there. And oh, Messiah just can't get another touch. It's going to allow Sugar to temporarily slow it down in the midfield, but still under duress here as Missouri S&T. They not as having as easy a time transitioning out. You know, that was the one thing that was so strong. But here's a corner.
What?
Oh, it bounces up across in
What?
both posts. Oh, no.
Oh, I thought that for sure was going to bounce in. And Missouri S&T, they do not catch a lucky break here. But maybe Sugar can. No, Sugar can't. Wisconsin Stout are holding on to their lead barely, but they do.
They've had to make a couple of great saves, and the demolitions continue to come out from Missouri Science and Tech. And finally now, Messiah is going to relieve at least a moment of pressure, but still that's a great counterattack. And that's the one thing that we haven't quite seen, is that one isn't good, and Bernie just sneaks it under the crossbar. The shooting accuracy plagued Missouri Science Tech in game one of the previous series. It has nearly cost them here, but finally they get one on target, they get it under the crossbar, and they're back on level terms.
And I was so scared for Bernie on that one because that was dangerously close to hitting that crossbar and bouncing away. Instead, it finds its way through. We have a tied game of over a minute left, and we could actually see an overtime here in game one, which should be a treat for sure. But let's not discount anything quite yet, as Bernie's going to take this one downfield.
Going to set it up out of the corner as well, but again, nobody pressing forward from Missouri Science Tech. There's a lot of respect being shown by both sides here, you know, just not trying to give anything too easy, as that is a massive clearance downfield. Messiah can't make contact. Could have been dangerous as Time's going to put one on target. Great save from Lurk. Again, just making the read right under the crossbar. It's enough to keep that shot out. Here we go once more. Time taking it off the ceiling, staying with it on the air dribble. He can't get another, no bump either. But here comes Sugar. His shot is wide and doesn't have enough boost for the double. Still the pressure being applied by Missouri Science Tech, and that's not going to be enough of a clearance. Time was ready this time. Just grabbed the boost, sat in the corner. It's not powerful enough from Lurk. Bernie making absolutely sure nobody's coming back to it, and that's Missouri Science and Tech with the 1-goal lead.
And that's really unfortunate for Lurk, trying best to get that one away. Unfortunately, the touch leads center, which is the danger zone of where to place the ball, especially on your own half of the field. This is the offense. What a touch from Bernie. Doesn't find its way to one of his teammates, but still very aggressive. Missouri Science and Tech, 5 seconds left, trying to extend this lead.
They do Bernie the pass from time. Look at this, Perino. Thread the needle through the defense on this pass.
I mean, that's just beautiful placement. Credit to time to, recognize that I think it was Sugar there initially, didn't have the boost. Just waited and sat on the wall, got the touch that he was looking for, and put it through. And all of a sudden, Missouri Science and Tech, they were down early. They come back. They make it a quick game for themselves. It was Bernie and Time, really, the dynamic duo up front. 2 goals and an assist for Bernie, goal and assist for Time. They had both about 470 points there, and big factors to why Missouri S&T are going to take the first one.
Bernie, I was going to say something cheeky about Bernie still keeping his shot to goal ratio pretty intact, but he actually scored 2 goals on 1 shot. So unbelievable still. It just works out for Bernie.
That's a very interesting point there as we're looking at the scoreboard at the end. Yes, he has 2 goals on only 1 shot. He's a mythical creature, I gotta say. Just can produce goals out of nothing, apparently. And he certainly won't complain how he gets them.
Wisconsin Stout, they're going to look to reset more towards here in game 2. They started out game 1 pretty hot. We're going to get a little bit of a reset from Lurk as they went to restart the computer up. And, well, not restart the computer, but restart the game. And hopefully, hey, that could change things. Maybe a player is having some bad frame rate or something. Or sometimes a reset and maybe that little extra time between game 1 and game 2 could be beneficial for Wisconsin Stout. So we'll see here going into game 2. Can they tie this one up?
That is the question of the moment here. Is Lurk's going to try and put one immediately on target from the kickoff, but Time makes a save. So a strong start early for Wisconsin Stout. Bernie, though, is going to pick it up in transition, trying to get Time to find a shot on target. He cannot do it just yet. Still, Bernie's going to try and get up and take it himself, but he's bumped away. That is very rude coming out from Wisconsin Stout, just pushing him right off the play. Certainly a viable, very tactical defense, though. Enough to temporarily stop it. Oh, Sugar gets the flip reset. This is just great mechanics. I mean, watch Sugar go here. Gets a perfect first touch off the wall, finds the flip.
Wow.
Gets the extra touch, bottom corner, easy as you like.
And I cannot explain how difficult of a shot that is, but Sugar made it look so easy. This Wisconsin Stout defense did everything that they could, but they could not stop a shot like that.
The hardest part about that is when you get that flip, right? But he's still able to stay directly behind the ball, and it's so fast. He just stays perfectly with it, it doesn't allow any space, right? And he just gets that extra bit of lift and power. It's so difficult to stop when it's done, right? And Sugar's popping off. We talk a lot about Bernie and Time. In game 1, Sugar said, well, I can contribute on offense as well. Watch me go. That's a very tight little angle off the inside of the post.
And I think Messiah was thinking that ball wasn't going to be as threatening as it was, so it wasn't a lot of urgency on attempting to make the clear on it. And now we're about minute 20 into game 2. And Missouri Science and Tech sitting very comfortably on this 2-goal lead. They're going to attempt to continue padding this scoreline because, hey, that's just what this team does. We've seen it from them in last series. They're going to do the same thing, hopefully, for themselves.
And the one thing that impresses me so much, outside of just the mechanics, but as you see Time go for an incredible flip reset there. If he had more boost, he might have been able to do more with that. But also just the positioning and the spacing as well. They do so well to build the pressure. There's Time coming through with a goal of his own. But how many touches in a row do Missouri Science and Tech get here? I don't want to go back and count, but they just never
is a
let their
lot.
opposition touch the ball. It's oppressive.
I think this goal, as you were explaining it and it happens, was a perfect example of how they're just able to command the field in such a way that they basically tell the defense, no, the ball's going to go here, and then I'm going to pass it to my teammate who's going to now take the shot, and there's just nothing you can do about it.
Well, Wisconsin Stout need to find something to do about it. They're 3 goals down just about halfway through this game, but it's not going to get any easier from here. Lurk up with the challenge, but that's a pass over to Sugar, who can't get back around outside it. Brave makes sure that Bernie doesn't get the easy one. But still, it's just all Missouri S&T all the way. The double touch is no good. Sugar's follow-up is wide. And some confusion on the transition is just going to allow Bernie to turn right back in on that. Again, this ball has not left the blue side.
The transitions are so crucial here for Wisconsin Stout, but they're just not able to get this ball significantly into the orange half, and then the midfield defense coming out from Missouri Science and Technology is so
Look at the respect for the rule one.
I love it.
As you can see there, for anyone who's not totally familiar, the car is locked together like that. It's an informal rule to not break it. You saw the respect given from both parties there, not trying to make a play when they're in that spot, as it's going to be Wisconsin Stout capitalizing on that little 2v2 sequence there, so they get the goal back. I just love to see that. At the end of the day, it is a game. It's about having fun, and that's just a fun little thing that you get to share once in a while.
Once in a while, but let's see if Wisconsin Stout can take advantage of the goal. It looks like Time's just gonna have a free one towards net. Brave barely stretching to get back in time, and Bernie's gonna give it back to Time, actually, speaking of him. A minute to go, but Missouri Science and Tech, they show no signs of slowing down. But look at this shot from Messiah, barely getting there this time.
That was a nice little setup there. Again, Wisconsin Stout trying to look and get those transition plays working for them. Even though they don't score on that one, they build the increasing threat level, right? You can't let them have, free touches, free passes in the midfield. They can at least threaten the goal like that. So it certainly gives Missouri S&T something to think about. But with 2 goals to go for Wisconsin Stout, they have to find one quick, as big clearance from Brave is denied. Sugar trying to put one on target, nearly finds it, and nobody able to make contact from Wisconsin. It just awkwardly sits there as time ticks ever closer to 0.
10 seconds left. This is going to be a very tight spot for Wisconsin Stout, but I don't think they're going to be able to score 2 goals here. And it looks like it's going to be official. Game 2 in the books here for Missouri Science and Tech. Bernie, of course, putting another one in. Now, Missouri Science and Tech with a series advantage now. And they're going to be looking at Game 3, hoping to get a sweep.
And yeah, that's just another, again, commanding finish from both of these, games here out of Missouri S&T. And, now they put themselves on match point. That easy, Greek. You just take the first 2 games, the best of 5 here, and, here you go. You're already looking at, potentially going through to the grand final. So definitely takes a lot of the pressure off for Missouri S&T, I would say. Not that I think they need it. They've actually been playing very, very well. And I also, again, want to give credit to Wisconsin Stout for just hanging with them. We saw what they can do, against previous opposition. And they've been close games. I think Missouri have held the majority of the pressure, and they've had the better of the chances. But Wisconsin are right there with them. All it takes is a couple of those counterattacks to come good, and they'll be right back in this series.
Yeah, I think Wisconsin Stout is not out of it by a long shot. There's still ample opportunity for them to bring it back. I still think that game one, where they were able to take the lead early on, was a little bit indicative of what they're able to accomplish. So now going into game three, now they're going to be in a spot where it's going to be very uncomfortable, and they're going to have to win it out here to make it to the grand finals. But it's still very much within their means. Now, on the other hand, Missouri Science and Tech, goodness gracious, like they just have not stopped since last series as well. They are just continuing on their 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 domination. And now, Perino, I'm worried that you're going to be correct with this 3-0 sweep prediction in the winners final because, well, first of all, if you are correct, hats off to you. But second of all, that means less Rocket League for us to watch. But
I know.
it's scary because if Missouri Science and Tech 3-0 sweep their way into the grand finals, oh goodness gracious, the team coming up from the lower bracket is not going to have an easy time.
No,
And they'll have to
absolutely
win
not.
2 series against them. It's a tall order, especially for a team of this caliber playing as hot as they are right now. But the series, we're talking like this series is over. This series is not over yet. Wisconsin South still has ample opportunity to bring it back, and I'm very excited to see if they're able to do so. We're actually getting a little bit of a server reset for everyone at home wondering, like, well, where's the next game? Well, it's here right now. We have our players loading in, and it's going to be a good one. Let's get right into this one, Perino.
Yes, no more waiting going on here as we're going to get game number 3 coming right to you. This is Missouri S&T taking on Wisconsin Stout for a spot in the grand final. Of course, Missouri, having taken the first 2 games, are just going to look to ice it right here. Can Wisconsin make the comeback? That is all on them here as Bernie takes it himself, goes low under Messiah, and actually picks up a demolition. Ooh, it's a nice little touch back the other way, but Brave is keen to the danger. Still Bernie waiting on the ball. Takes the challenge through the middle, and that's just going to be slid right in by Time. And time again, this man comes up with the clutch goals.
Oh,
Just
that's great. But look
sneaking
at
it
this
into the
angle
corner.
too. Really taking, like, seeing that opportunity and just going for it speaks volume to the kind of player that Time is. We've seen Time come through and be the really clutch playmaker, getting the assists when needed, but also when the opportunity arises, Time is also there to make these impeccable shots on net.
Yeah, we saw Bernie right there looking for the top corner, nearly found an exclamation point of his own, but here we go. Sugar trying to go a little bit fancy there. Can't quite get the power he was looking for. That was indeed Missouri just maintain all this pressure. Lurk has no boost there. Not going to be able to get that out of the corner. Still the pressure being applied. Demolition from Bernie. It's going to
pass.
Oh, no, and Time can't get his nose on. I'm not sure that he was anticipating that when it came out with such power and pace out of the pinch. Difficult one to read.
It was, but again, Missouri Science and Tech being able to put themselves in a position like that, and a threatening one to score, kind of shows us where their minds are at here in Game 3. They're hunting for this sweep. They want it so badly. And they're still going at it. Time is going to take this one. Is actually going to elect to let Lurk boom it downfield, and then Bernie, seeing that, is just going to collect it and restart the offense.
It's a great flick from Bernie as there as well. Times it to perfection, getting it over the immediate challenger. And still, I feel like a broken record here, but it's just this ball doesn't leave the blue half of the field. Missouri are so good at building the pressure in these spots. They don't allow the other team to break. I mean, look at Brave here. He's trying to go, but he just has no boost, because Missouri have just been up there taking those big boost canisters out of the corners. And, finally, here's a little bit of reprieve, but still Time just makes the challenge, and it's just this endless cycle of pressure. At some point, it just breaks.
Well, we're halfway through this game here. I almost was about to eat my words. I was going to say it's only a 1-goal lead for Missouri Science and Tech. It's still true. But unfortunately for the University of Wisconsin Stout, they need to score and tie this one up, or else they're going to be sent to the lower bracket, because it is game 3 and they are on the door of getting potentially swept here. And there's a big opportunity. The pass back from Brave to Messiah. Can he hit this one around the corner? No. Sugar is going to keep that one away from the offense.
Still just the pressure unrelenting. I mean, look at Bernie. He's already in the air, just intercepting the pass and just wreaking havoc in the backline, right? It doesn't result in a goal there, but it just forces the entirety of Wisconsin Stout. Their whole roster just has to go back to the net and keep themselves boxed in that area. It's just disheartening, I think, is the word that I would use. When you can't break it. It becomes just mentally taxing. There are still only 1 goal back, though, so all it's going to take is just one good transition from Wisconsin Stout. They have just over 60 seconds to find it, as Time delivers a ball that hangs out above the net but is dealt with by Messiah. Pass back in to Bernie. He's a little bit behind him. He can't quite make a positive touch, and Messiah doesn't want any more of this pressure. He elects to just hit it all the way out. Actually gets it by 2.
That one's centered.
Time makes such a good touch, though. He just seemingly has the answer for everything in this game.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Almost putting a shot in on target. That one is. But now desperation mode coming out here for Wisconsin Stout. They need to score in this next 20 seconds to at least extend themselves into overtime. But can Brave and the rest of the squad get this ball even out of their half?
Been the problem here throughout the majority of this game is still Missouri Science and Tech continue to apply the pressure. That's a huge demo from Bernie. What does he like to do with it? He just bounced it off the walls. Messiah finally gets the clearance. Does Brave have enough boost? No, he gets beat to the challenge, and Missouri Science and Tech advance to the grand final. Congratulations to them. They have, at the minimum, secured a 2nd place finish. For Wisconsin Stout, we will see them in a brief moment in the losers final. Wow, that was intense, Greek.
It really was. Honestly, this game 3, when Wisconsin was playing on basically one of their last chances, they came out, and unfortunately, though, it just didn't go so well for them. That's what my heart aches for this Wisconsin Stout squad, because they, in that last sequence of events, that last 30 seconds, they had to get out of their own half, but they just could not. Missouri Science and Tech were so deadly in that aspect. They were just wasting so much time, and their midfield pressure was unbelievable. Those should have been 50-50 opportunities at the midfield, but they were getting 100% of them. They were just getting there faster, and they were
think we're getting close. Racing through the waves, I want to be where nobody knows. Take me, baby, take me to a state of mind that's made up, baby, that's made of all the love we find. Electric, feel it in your hands. Hypnotic, watch our bodies dance. Happiness, this is where we stand.
down to the B side. Get down to the B side.
Good evening, everyone. We're back. This is Esports CCP, and we're presenting the Battle Up St. Louis, sponsored by the Marines recruiting team. I'm Meet and Greek, and with me again for this wonderful evening throughout all of the great matches so far is none other than Perino. And Perino, how are you feeling about this next matchup? This is the lower bracket finals.
Yes, the two teams that we have lined up here are the University of Wisconsin Stout and the Mavericks, two teams that we have seen plenty of in the broadcast today. So I think this will be a great series, Greek. I think both teams will definitely have something to prove here in this event. This is effectively the second and third place game, right? So
Yes.
the winner of this will have another crack at Missouri S&T, who sent both of these teams to the losers bracket, mind you. And then, the loser will have to quote unquote settle for third place. There's nothing wrong with third place. Trust me, it's a great prize there. We look at our, you know, dispersion of the prize pool, and you get a sweet set of backpacks too for third place, along with some other goodies as well. So nothing wrong with it, but this is really where you have to differentiate yourself. You have to try and push towards the top.
Yeah, absolutely. And uh, going forward into this matchup, I do agree. I think this is going to be one of our closer ones. And, we're still waiting for that game five. We're still waiting for that game five to happen, that game five overtime. But I think now this one is going to be the one that brings it. I am like very confident in that.
Yes, this one may go the distance. I with you, Greg. I do have that feeling. Not to brag or anything, but I was very correct about the previous series. So I tend to trust my intuition here, Greek, and I agree with you on this. That I do think this one may go the distance.
Well, to see now, Perino, we've gone through almost all of our sponsors for this evening, but as we're prepping to go into this lower bracket final, would you want kindly give everyone at home the lowdown on our partner NFL Alumni.
Yes, serving a dual mission of caring for kids and caring for our own, the NFL Alumni Association is expanding its positive influence on young people in the United States by announcing its new NFLA National Headquarters streaming studio and Twitch page, as well as launching a series of esports events along with its current Pro Day experience educational field trips. In December 2019, they announced their partnership with ESTV, their exclusive broadcast media partner. Together, they have worked to raise funds for the COVID-19 pandemic to help people and communities in need. So we'd like to thank the NFL Alumni Association for their support and coverage of this event as well. Again, trying to break down the barrier between traditional sports and esports. It's a strong partnership.
Strong partnership indeed, and we're thankful for all of our wonderful sponsors for coming out to support this event, to support some great Rocket League. We've seen some great matches so far, and we still have 2 more great matches to go for. We're getting into the server right now, folks. We're not going to waste any time here. We're going to tell these players to just get ready. We're going to start this as soon as possible. Wisconsin Stout going up against Mavericks. They haven't seen each other yet in this bracket, but man, Brino, like we were saying earlier, I feel like this is going to be the series that's just very close. We're going to be on the edge of our seat the entire time.
Yes, I have no doubt about it. These are 2 great young squads going at it. Again, so much more on the line now. The difference between, 3rd and 2nd place at stake here. So let's hope that, we just get a fantastic series. 2 great teams battling it out. Let's do it.
Let's do it. We got the players on the field. Let's put a fresh 5 minutes on the clock. Game 1. This is a best of 5, even though we're in the lower bracket. Best of 5. Winner of this series will go on to the grand finals to face Missouri Science and Tech.
Already we're off to a strong start. The air dribble there, not enough. Put Wisconsin Stout ahead. They'll be playing in the orange, the Mavericks in the blue, and that's a great pass across. It is Taco who buries that one. It's a lovely transition play. It was Wildcard's pass, though, wonderfully set up. Flawless execution.
Yeah, an excellent shot from Taco, but excellent pass from Wildcard as well. Getting it around that corner, past the defense, both of the defenders jumping at the opportunity of getting a touch on the ball. But watch out here. Very dangerous spot to be in. I am shocked no one from Wisconsin Stout was there to plug the goal.
Just a huge move there. And again, I apologize, Greek. My client has gone down once again, so I'm going to ask you to take over on the commentary as I'm currently not in the picture. I'll be back in just a moment.
It's okay, but we're 1 minute into this game, and Saviak's here hitting it center, but no one from the offense there to support him. Now the Mavericks are going to be forced to play a little bit of defense. Lurk around the corner, can't get it past Wildcard. Messiah is there. One more attempt to hit this ball center. Brave can't make the touch, but here comes Lurk, who finds it, scores, and ties the game up. Taco was last man on the line, and then everyone else coming into their defensive positions on the Mavericks. However, it was not enough, and Wisconsin Stout, they will tie this up about a minute and 20 seconds into game 1. Braves not going to be able to get near that ball, and now it's going to give Wildcard an opportunity to hit this one downtown, but Messiah's there. Watch out for Taco. Can't make the touch, but maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Saviax, though, can't take that opportunity and put that one in a threatening on-target position. Saviax is back. Braves going to get a touch. Here comes Taco. That one's going to be off target, but here goes Wildcard, who scores! Retakes the lead for Mavericks. It's an excellent job here. Lurk, you could see, hanging on to hanging up upside down in the goal, trying to get a save, but just was not in the right position, or guessed incorrectly at least.
Did I
And
miss
now
anything good,
Perino.
Greek?
We missed the score changed, but relatively stayed the same since you left.
So goodness,
As-
we've picked up
yeah.
a couple. Look at this.
Yeah, but Mavericks still have their 1-goal lead, but I eat my words. The Caster's Curse comes out here in the lower bracket finals. Messiah ties it up again.
And that's just a wonderful touch from Lurk there. I mean, just gets so high above that. Can't quite put it in, but certainly enough to just bounce it off the crossbar back down to a teammate, let it ride, try and get that equalizing goal, as 4 have come out already in the first half of this game. It's very even matchup. It's what we expected, Greek, and we're getting it so far.
We are in this well. It's going to go a little bit downtown. Messiah's going to meet up with him, but watch out for Taco. Passes it to Saviak. The shot on target. Retakes the lead for the Mavericks.
And what a tremendous pass this is from Taco. I mean, it's just perfectly placed. There's nothing the defense can do when the pass itself is just on the nose of the car like that. It's effectively unstoppable. And wow, this has been high octane. Both teams really going at this one.
This is a really good series. I'm excited what the rest of it will bring us here, as we're approaching the 2-minute mark.
Going to be Saviox who centers it out of the corner up to Taco, who has an open look, and Brave had to turn around on the goal line to make that save. And Saviox again with the pass, trying to find these infield passing plays that have proven so effective in game 1 here, but it's not being allowed that time. Saya over to Lurk in the corner. Lurk doesn't have any boost, so he's just going to stay away from the ball. He says, no thank you, I can't make a good touch there. As well, nobody from the Mavericks can get a good touch, and that's cleared all the way out. Brave looking back down across to Lurk. It is a great save from Wildcard, who made a great read on that one.
Lurk. Excellent heads-up play, but just couldn't get it into the goal. But that's exactly what Wisconsin Stout needs right now. They need to create more offense. We haven't seen that in quite a bit of time, but as we're reaching the 1-minute mark, they're going to have to really think about figuring out how to tie this game up.
See a bit of a double commit from the Mavericks in the corner, but it will still allow them to at least move the ball all the way downfield, try and assert some pressure on this orange net. So rotations come out. It's a great pass in the middle. Brave to Messiah. His effort's not on target. Taco with a good clearance. Wildcard tried to get another touch, but still nothing doing. And he has to be careful here, but he's going to very carefully finesse his way out of that one with 30 seconds to go. Still the tightest of margins, and that's a big demo from Taco. This might open it up.
Might open it up, and Brave doesn't have any boost to really get a clear grip on the ball and bang it downfield. But watch out for Messiah, who gets the read. 0 boost in the tank, and it doesn't matter. Gets the dunk and ties it up.
And this is an extremely costly double commit in the midfield, Greek. Just both of those blue players going up for it. You leave the last man pretty exposed there. Not much to be done about it. And that is going to tie us up here. Just a very fortunate sequence there. And
watch
unless
out for
we get
Lurk.
one more.
Oh my goodness. So close, but this ball is still in threatening position here. If anyone can touch it, no, all 3 players from Wisconsin Stout were under that ball, but couldn't keep it up in the air. We go to overtime.
Oh, wow, that's a great look already at the outset. All 3 players committing once more. It's Brave.
10 seconds into overtime. Oh my goodness. And you can see the way that they're bringing the ball across the goal. They were just slowly but filtering out the defenders as they kept diving desperately, trying to make a save, but just were unable to. And by the time the last shot was on target, they were just one lone defender left on that goal line, and it soars right through. University of Wisconsin Stout take game 1. It was close. It was very close.
Airtight, and they sort of got a gift at the end of that game as well. You know, the Mavericks with a very costly double commit at the end of regulation there to concede that goal before overtime, and then 10 seconds out of the overtime, you know, you just get the kickoff goal. And you know, I think for Wisconsin Stout, they'll be satisfied that they won that game. For the Mavericks, I think it's very much the opposite. You know, it's a very tough one to lose, especially in that way, you know, conceding 2 goals effectively back to back. So we'll see if they can bounce it back here. Game number 2. This is again another best of 5 series. So turnaround has to be pretty quick.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's the beauty of best of 5 is that you still have many opportunities to bring it back. Even if the Mavericks, well, they can't lose the next 2 games, but even if they lose this game, they still have ample opportunity to bring this series back. As already 10 seconds in, Wisconsin Stout, they're right back at it.
Yeah, that was another really good look at goal there. It took a excellent save to keep it out, and still this has already been an incredibly back and forth sequence as Braves going to try and just beat Taco to the inside, but can't do so. Wild card with the massive clearance out. It's going to give the Mavericks a moment of reprieve. Here comes Brave out of the corner, gets it by 1. Lurk and Taco, neither can make contact. It's going to allow Messiah to go for it, but I don't think he had the boost to get the double touch. Just could not get all the way around to it.
Taco, very good job keeping cool, getting around that ball to make the save. That was dangerous, but this one's also dangerous as well. Brave is going to have to get back for Wisconsin Stout. Messiah's going to have to this one to the corner. And Brave again. It's stuck in the corner. And we're seeing the Mavericks now back on offense, but the transition too quickly. They're unable to establish themselves.
Yeah, it's just a little bit chaotic right now, I would say, is the way that I would describe the onset of game 2. It's just neither team able to string touches together, but here comes Saviox just coming right through the midfield, bounces it up high, no save to be made. It just gets under the crossbar too. That's wonderful placement.
And I was looking from Lurk's perspective, and the jump just came a little too late. The slight hesitation was costly. And with those kind of plays, you really have to just trust your instinct to be able to make a save. Oh, no way! Lurk makes up for the missed save and comes up with a clutch goal right here. Look at this, the re.
Oh, and the pre-flip as well. I mean, that's just dirty. Outrageous. You can't do that.
You can't do that. That's against the rules. Lurk doesn't care about the rules here, and right now, Wisconsin Stout right back in this.
And that's just a wonderful play from Lurk. Not only to, I mean, the shot itself was technically brilliant, but the setup for it as well, you know, to get the pass and, you know, to have the trust to go back to it as well, try and beat the defense.
Goodness.
And speaking of beating the defense, there goes Messiah. He's just going to force the challenge, force the 50-50. It's going to go straight into the blue net.
And by going for those 50-50s, you create those opportunities. I know some people like to say, like, oh, well, it's lucky that ball bounced in. But that ball would not have bounced in without Messiah going for the aggressive play there, recognizing his teammates are rotating back to play defense, but he says, nah, we're going to keep up the offensive grind right here.
So here come Wisconsin Stout. This Lurk, who doesn't have the boost to get another touch, but it's all 3 players getting involved. 1, 2, 3. Wisconsin Stout finding their 3rd goal. It's a great team play. Lurk to Brave to Messiah to the back of the net.
And you can see that the defense playing a lot of reactionary Rocket League. You can tell it because they saw that Lurk missed that attempt at a pass into the middle. And after Lurk is cleared of the ball and they can tell that Lurk's not going to get another touch, that's when they react and start shifting their cars into a different position. No, they have to be playing proactive Rocket League when they're playing defense. They need to get up into the air and challenging these shot opportunities. Don't even let them happen, or else you're going to find yourself in a whole world of hurt. You're going to be playing too much defense.
Well, 2 goals down with 2 minutes remaining isn't the best, but for the Mavericks, it's a close enough of margin that they feel that they can certainly get this game back on track. But there goes Lurk. Oh, he had a good look there, but
Did, yeah.
very difficult shot, in fairness to him, trying to get in position in the midfield to put that on target. Just wasn't quite able to do it. Instead, it's Saviox who pushes it downfield, intercepted by Brave, looking for Lurk in the middle. Gets it by
Beautiful
1, and
pass.
Taco's just going to carefully finesse that on the goal line. And danger cleared away for a moment.
Oh my goodness. Lurk was getting that through the entire defense. They're lucky he wasn't able to score. Well, with a minute to go here, Mavericks need to come up with not 2, but 3 goals now, as Lurk's going to finesse that one in again.
Hey, it's just a game of pressure, Greek. You know, we harped on it so much in our previous series, watching Wisconsin Stout and Missouri S&T, but you could see the advantage. You know, this time Wisconsin Stout just unrelenting. You know, they just punished the miscues from the Mavericks so well. They don't allow them to, you know, make those mistakes on defense. If you're going to give these guys space, they're going to score goals, and we've seen 4 go in already, possibly looking for number 5 here. And again, I don't want to call anything early, but it is now an incredibly difficult task for the Mavericks to get this one back.
And now the Mavericks, if they do drop this game, which is looking more and more likely as the seconds tick off the clock, they're going to have to find themselves in a reverse sweep situation in the lower bracket finals to make their way into the grand finals. So it's a very tall order. But they've made it this far into the tournament, Perino. I mean, if there's any team that's going to do it, it's going to be this squad right here. But all it starts with their next game in Game 3, as the clock is going to tick down from 10 seconds from here. It looks like Wisconsin Stout will be taking Game 2.
Yeah, we can certainly call it now. As soon as this one touches the floor, it's official. And well,
Hey,
why
we'll
not
touch
one
the
more
floor.
for Brave? Hey, you know, gotta add to the stat sheet, put another goal on. He didn't have one, I don't think, in this game. As I take a peek there, no, it was his first one. He had to make sure he was on top of the scoreboard. You know, 9
Yeah,
shots,
he had
4
assists.
assists. Goal puts him over
What-
the top. So
100% goal participation from Brave. That's
there you go.
unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're going to be looking more now towards Game 3 to see what the Mavericks are going to be able to do. I mean, right now, I mean, they look good. The Mavericks,
yeah.
they look good. And like there's no doubt about it. We see the one goal they were able to score this game came from an exceptional pass play where they got the whole team in on the opportunity. However, what Wisconsin Stout has been doing so well is really pressuring them into their own half of the field. They just keep on playing defense. And when they do get the ball downtown, they're unable to keep it there, and they aren't able to keep up any sustained offensive rotations. So right now for Mavericks, that's exactly what you need to work on here in Game 3, is almost getting a kickoff goal right off the bat. That would have helped too.
It certainly would, as Lurk's just going to pass that one down, and Savix had to make an incredible save moving backwards. So a fiery start here. Another save from Brave. That one was on target, so he did have to get that into the corners. Taco trying to look for a teammate in the middle, but nobody home. So still the Mavericks try to press on, but Wildcard can't make the read there. He's just forced to concede some pressure. Saviak's trying to go out of the corner. Messiah is there, though, and still a little bit of chaos. Some physical play being employed by both sides, trying to ascertain possession out of the corner. Here comes Saviak's now the transition. Doesn't have enough for the double. Lurk down to Messiah.
That's on target. Oh, no, it wasn't.
Oh, post in the follow-ups.
No way.
There's like a magnet on that post. It doesn't matter. Brave hits it to the opposite corner. That one's going in.
Messiah had almost the entire net to shoot at there, just picked the wrong side, but thankfully for him, Lurk just able to pass that one straight down into the waiting nose of Brave in that Fenix. So, or excuse me, he's in the Octane. But how did I screw that up? You know, it's very shape of the car.
They share the same hitbox, so you're almost right. Almost
Yeah,
right.
close enough.
Close enough. Now, though, here's the interesting thing. Wisconsin Stout with the lead in Game 3, looking to get the sweep. The pressure is on for the Mavericks to tie this one up. You have to play perfect Rocket League. Oh, no! That was supposed to go in. Wildcard had the opportunity to tie it up, was unable to find purchase.
Yeah, and that's the kind of chance you just can't afford to miss here. You're down a goal. You're in do or die mode here. Down 2 games in this best of 5, and those are just the kinds of plays that you have to make. You just have to be on the right side of that. For the Mavericks, they just need to get something going.
They need to indeed, but now Brave trying to make a one-man show. Here goes Messiah, boosting the take, get it past Taco, no dice. The pressure continues from Brave. Coming out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Oh
just watch
my
him get on the other side of that. It's just a perfectly placed shot into the corner. It's one of the most difficult skills I feel in this game is that outside in shooting technique, getting your car all the way around the ball to sneak it inside the near post. It's a great example of it there. Such a deadly finish. Wisconsin Stout. They look primed to continue on in this tournament. Halfway through this game, up 2. It's Lurk looking for the double. Does he have enough boost? No, not quite.
Wow. Mavericks catch a break from there. They went from attacking to being on the end of a potential scoring opportunity. The scoreline still remains 2-0 with 2 minutes left. Ample time for him to tie this one up. And here comes Wildcard. Can't make contact. Brave gets in front of it and intercepts the ball.
A little bit of mixed possession going on in midfield. It's going to break the way of the Mavericks, though. Messiah off the backboard is going to send it long and at least put the first player under pressure. It's Lurk trying to get it into the middle. He has to leave, though. No boost in the tank. Brave trying to get Messiah in the middle, but no, it's Wildcard there instead. And now here comes the dangerous chance. Oh, Messiah can't put that by Saviox. He just couldn't get it high. Brave doesn't have the boost. All 3 players up for the Mavericks, just trying to hold on here. The pressure from Wisconsin Stout just unrelenting.
And they can't get this ball out of their own half, and they're wasting precious time by doing so. They need a clear. They need not just a clear, but a pass to a teammate. It's a great opportunity, and not a pass right to Brave, who's going to hammer it home. 3-goal lead.
And that's just one where you have to make that touch above the crossbar there. There's an attacker waiting in the middle. As soon as it bounces to him, he will not miss that one. It's Brave on the hat trick. All 3 goals for Wisconsin Stout, picking up a 3rd there. And just so much pressure from Wisconsin Stout. Here comes Messiah passing it down to Brave, who tries to take a possession touch, but is challenged immediately for it. And Greek, as we press on the final moments of this game here, it's looking more and more like Wisconsin Stout is going to be the one to go to the next round. Barring a miracle from the Mavericks, might see the end of the series right here.
We might see it indeed. A clean 3-0 sweep would do wonders for Wisconsin Stout, looking to get revenge back in the uppers in the grand final. We're going to have to do a bracket reset unless something drastically changes here in the next 10 seconds, but I don't think so. I think from here, we're going to call it and say Wisconsin Stout have guaranteed themselves a top 2 finish, and the Mavericks fought formidably. But they will exit here as 3rd place, but they will be garnering their sweet backpacks and other prizes as well from their run from this evening. So, wow, Reno, this is just impressive showing from Wisconsin Stout. Is it going to be enough, though, to get back on top and face this Missouri Science and Tech again? Like, it's a tall order.
That is a huge order. And not to do it once, but you have to do it twice in a row. So this is
Yes.
a bracket reset grand final, meaning if you come from the loser side of the bracket, as Wisconsin Stout will do, you need to win both series back to back in order
That's
to
right.
take down the tournament. So that's an extremely tall order, I would say. And
It is. It is. But and then again, on the flip side of things, we're looking at Missouri Science and Tech. Their job is for them. They do not have the same amount of pressure at all. This is gonna be such a high pressure set of series for Wisconsin Stout. Missouri Science and Tech, they can drop a whole series and still be okay, or they can just win it. They can win the whole thing in 3 games if they really work at it. So I'm very interested to see, will Wisconsin Stout get their revenge? They'll have to do it twice, but it could happen.
it certainly could, as we will take a break on the desk here for one final time, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we will have the conclusion of this tournament today here on Esports CCP. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the grand final coming up next. We'll see you in a moment.
Go for it.
Okay, so for 1,000 Rocket League credits, we got Gotcha Peter for the winner of it. Congratulations.
Esports College and Career Pathways we are dedicated to helping gamers, players really improve their game, whether at the collegiate level like we are today or as a career.
So go to your buddy and be like, hey, I got paid to play a video game and get good grades. What did you get money for?
We really want to give a foundation for gamers to come in, express themselves in their own way, give them a competitive base setting, and provide them with the equipment necessary to, thrive in that competitive setting.
We looked at the resources that are available, and even yesterday I was talking to parents and players, and they didn't even know there were varsity teams at the college level, let alone that there's scholarships. So we took upon ourselves that we really want to put together these combines, not just like Rocket League we're doing now, but we're doing League of Legends in 2 weeks. And beyond that, we're probably going to do Fortnite to really give resources and a recruitment tool for the colleges, but really to get these players in front of the right people at the right time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Esports CCP channel. We are here with the Battle Up St. Louis, sponsored by the United States Marines recruiting team. My name is Perino. Alongside me is the excellent Meat and Greek.
Oh my
It has
goodness.
been a wonderful evening of Rocket League, but we are down to just 2 teams. I would say 1 series, but potentially 2 with the grand
Potentially
final,
2.
with the bracket reset.
It would be awesome if we got 2 series.
Would be great, but it's going to be a rematch here between Wisconsin Stout, Missouri Science and Tech. These guys are already back in the lobby, I think, so we're just going to head pretty much straight into it.
Yeah, we can tell the players to get going. This is going to be the grand finals, folks. Best of 5, of course, potential for a bracket reset. Wisconsin Stout is going to have to win 2 series in a row to take the tournament because Missouri Science and Tech have not lost a series yet. Fresh 5 minutes on the clock. Let's take this one away, Perino.
We certainly will in just a moment as soon as I get into the lobby here. So I'm going to let you take it away.
It's okay. We're going to get in on this. An early goal scored by Messiah here. Only 11 seconds into this matchup, and the defense just not there for Missouri Science and Tech. Did not see where they were.
And already that is a strong start for Wisconsin Stout here. This is a team that struggled in their series against Missouri S&T, and to get this one and potentially get a second, that's Sugar, who has to make a great save, and now here comes Lurk as well with the follow-up still. This is already looking much better for Wisconsin Stout, but we are, of course, still so early. This is merely the opening sequence of the final act, so we have a long way to go.
That's true, and remember, way back earlier in this tournament, Missouri Science and Tech against Mavericks, they dropped game 1, but then turned on the Rockets and blasted away in games 2, 3, and 4. So don't count out Missouri Science and Tech just yet, just because they're down by a goal. Things can get a little shaky here, though. 2-goal lead now for Wisconsin Stout. They're looking on fire.
They absolutely are, and to your point, Greek, even in their follow-up series, against this Wisconsin team, they didn't really start out strong in that game 1 either, so they do take a little bit to get going. Now it's just a question of, with a 2-goal advantage, can Wisconsin hold on to this lead? Well, they can hold on at least to 1 goal, but not to 2. It's Bernie with a powerful finish straight under the crossbar. It just turns right around and rips it.
Yeah, and takes advantage of the defenders to them in that same corner, unable to get back in time to double, and not really commit per se, but the positioning not boding well here for Wisconsin Stout, and Missouri Science and Tech recognizing it and taking advantage.
We look for more plays coming out here. Birdie not able to get around that one, so that defender comes through with a pretty effective challenge. Now it's time. Rolling through the corner, putting it across the net. No one home, though. Nobody close enough to deliver a strike across the line. As Brave is actually going to beat Sugar out to that one, and Messiah picks up a demolition. So here comes the University of Wisconsin Stout. It's Lurk keeping it high in the middle, challenged by Bernie successfully. Sugar on the transition, and already you feel,
oh my goodness,
Missouri S&T coming right back into it. There's time with a goal to his name. Brave was bumped off of that one, and the speed of time to just get right back to that. Nobody back in the net. And we have a tie ball game.
Yeah, recognizing the opportunity, seeing the defense wasn't in prime position, just lobs one towards the net, and it pays off well. Tied game now here. Missouri Science and Tech coming back strong, scoring 2 unanswered goals. And now looking to be in prime position to advance another attack. Watch out. Messiah almost puts one in net.
Yeah, it had to be a great save from Bernie there. He does a good job of not only making the save, but clearing the ball away from a dangerous position as well. It's such an underrated skill on defense. And there goes
What?
Bernie. Bit of a
What
double
a
commit. It comes
pinch!
flying out. Be tough to get a handle on that one. I don't think even the best of players are going to be ready for a pass that hot.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Wish we could clock the speed on that shot because that was just monstrous. But watch out for time. Open net. Puts it on target. Messiah can't get in front of it. And Missouri Science and Tech, they take the lead. 3 unanswered goals here in game 1.
And what a wonderful finish that is as well, to not only hit the net, but just go top corner as well. I mean, you can tell these guys put so much time and effort into the game, you know, to consistently deliver that level of finishing prowess is just so good. These guys are the real deal.
They are, and again, it just keeps on growing. 4 unanswered goals now. Bernie doing pretty much all the work. I know it says Sugar had an assist, but really Bernie brought it all the way downtown.
Yeah, and Bernie rocking that white Supersonic Legend decal. Very clean, very nice looking. I wish I had one. But you can tell that these guys, again, you know how good they are because there are very few players that, you know, have earned that reward from this previous season. So definitely a little bit of a flex, but well-deserved flex.
Indeed, indeed. As we're seeing a 2-goal lead potentially could grow. Unless Wisconsin Stout has anything to say about it. They haven't scored a goal in a couple of minutes in this game. Meanwhile, Missouri Science and Tech scored 4.
Oh, Bernie
now,
can't make that read. Yeah, here we go.
I thought for sure this one was just going to be a routine touch away, but Bernie unable to make contact with that ball, and Braves just going to hit that one in. Now we're down only by a goal with just a touch. Over a minute to go here. Wisconsin Stout trying to tie this one up.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Missouri is that even though, you know, they're just nursing that 1-goal lead and they don't have to score more, they're going to continue to apply the pressure. They're not going to try and allow Wisconsin Stout any sort of possession, any sort of sustained level of play. So just look for Missouri here to just continue to drive the ball into the opposition half. I mean, look at what Time's doing right here. It's a perfect air dribble, and it applies so much pressure. I know it's not on target. You know, it gets turned aside, but it does so much to strain the defense and keep Stout pinned in their own half.
Oh, absolutely. Because they do have to get back in position because it is a valid threat to their defense. And then by that extension, they waste so much time. Missouri Science and Tech, they have wasted so much time just on their opponent's halves of the field. I wish we could clock just how much they've spent just whittling down the clock because it is a substantial number.
And so that one's going to be sent down, and Bernie, with a soft little touch, is going to just end the game right there.
Wow.
It is Missouri Science and Tech coming through with a victory here in game 1, Greek, and that was really close. You know, that was about as back and forth I think we've seen it so far with this team.
The thing that I'm concerned about is that Wisconsin Stout started with a 2-goal lead, and then in the second half of this game, were outscored 4-1. That does not bode well for them going into game 2, especially because it looks like now Missouri Science and Tech have so much momentum. They understand, like, all right, we already took this team down in the winners final. Let's do it again in the grands. It seems like they have that mental, that mindset right now. So now if you're Wisconsin Stout, you start out great in game 1. You need to come out with that same tenacity here in game number 2. But this time, hold it.
No doubt about it, but there comes Bernie.
My heart cannot take these level of plays, especially 8 seconds into a match. That is just setting the bar right now. Oh my goodness.
You know, and that ball in from time was so good. He actually got both Sugar and Bernie to take a crack at it. You know, Bernie was the one who ended up coming with a touch in the end, but down the other end, it's Messiah who sneaks one under the crossbar. It was Lurk on the initial effort. Messiah just sort of kept it high and it dropped right under. Again, Brave threatening another touch, couldn't get it, but it was on target. So it just goes in the back of the net, and just like that, 2 quick goals early on, still evened up.
Still even up. But things change quickly, and Bernie sees the opportunity and seizes it. Look at this play. And also, I didn't quite see who was jumping Brave out on the defensive line, but being able to take out a key defender, opening things up, is also very crucial.
No doubt about it, Greek, because this Missouri Science and Tech squad is so adept at just finding different ways of doing it. You know, they build so much pressure, but it's not just one person and it's not just one way of scoring. They go for bumps, they go for the passes, they just go for individual solo plays. I mean, they can really do it all.
What?
There's time on his own, you know, classic little Doomsday dish. But this is what I mean. They're just so threatening from so many different areas. When he picks it here, is he passing? Is he keeping it himself? You know, what? Where is he going to go?
It is so tough, and especially when you look at time bringing the ball around that corner, and of course anyone can hit the ball around there, but you see the level of control, keeping the ball close to the car and still keep within striking distance to be able to finally throw a shot on target takes incredible skill. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that Missouri Science and Tech, all 3 of their players are individual threats. And when they're playing as a team, that's when it gets scary.
They just provide so many different options for themselves. As Sugar could not quite put it on target. He had the right idea. He was in the right spot, but just unable to put the ball on target. As still Wisconsin Stout just trying to do anything they can to alleviate some of this pressure. Messiah finally gets one out, and it's going to force the issue a little bit. But here comes Bernie and Sugar with the pinch, of course. They both went for it, and normally you classify that as a mistake, but these guys just get the perfect touch every time, it seems. And now all 3 players
triple
up.
Commit. Oh, and you know, Perino, what hurts is that there's a triple commit on the play on the side of Missouri Science and Tech. However, no one from Wisconsin Stout able to take advantage of it and at least bring the ball downfield and put a free shot on net.
Certainly makes it difficult, as Sugar here is just going to drill it into the back of the net. With Time, who got the extra touch, nobody on the defensive end can react. And that's about as free as it gets for Sugar.
And Lurk there on the defensive line was not anticipating that slight touch from Time, was maybe in position if the ball was allowed to naturally come off the wall. Here comes another shot on net from Bernie. Oh my goodness. The floodgates are opening. We're only halfway through game 2.
And Bernie is just such an adept finisher. Again, I'm looking at his scoreboard. He's a magician in the sense that he's got 3 goals on 2 shots. So not the first time we've seen something like that from him, but he just manages to find a way even when the ball isn't registering on target on Psyonix's end. So clearly he has something up his sleeve to find these goals. That's exactly what he's doing here in this series. He is just shooting with divine touch. The word that
almost could call him a magician at that point, but watch out. Here's an opportunity for Masai. Can't get really around it though. And we're seeing this ball finally take a vacation on the Orange Hat for a sustained amount of time. We're starting to see some defense being played from Missouri Science and Tech, but it's short-lived. And now they're right back on the offense.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of awkwardness there for Wisconsin Stout as well. Just trying to figure out the defensive priority there. That pinch clearance will certainly help them out. You know, it just gives you a little bit of breathing space. I empathize with having to deal with this Missouri S&T offense. You feel as though you never really know where it's going to come from next.
Oh,
As it's
man.
Sugar this time. It's got a perfect scoreboard, 2 goals, 2 assists on 2 shots. And Missouri S&T are just going absolutely haywire in the grand final.
And that's really tough from a defensive perspective on that play because, again, you got to send everyone out up front. And it doesn't matter if you're behind 4 goals. You're not going to – you basically have to send bodies out there to make shot attempts to help alleviate some of that pressure and maybe start a comeback. But at this point, a minute to go is looking less and less likely. And now Wisconsin Stout, if this scoreline holds, which I predict it will, they're going to have to reverse sweep in the grand finals, the first series of their potential bracket reset run.
Yeah, and this one isn't looking great, is it? 7-1 here in game 2. It's just been all Missouri S&T all the way. And as we continue to wind it down here, I'm just not really sure what the answer is. When you have a team playing this well, what do you do? I think the easiest answer is just to try and enforce more physical play, slow it down, go for the bumps and demos, but these guys just seem to have the answer for everything, so I'm glad it's not me on the field as well. Lurk's going to pick one more up here, so...
Oh, Perino, I know for sure if I was on this field, it would look a lot worse.
Yeah, I don't envy having to go up against these guys. I'll say that.
But now, if you are Wisconsin Stout, you're looking at a reverse sweep scenario. You have to do it. It's a very tough position to be in. One, it's so easy to comment on a team if they're able to bring the ball downfield and they just aren't able to, I guess, convert a lot of their shot opportunities into goals. You can just say, oh, well, they just need more accuracy. But it's very tough because Wisconsin Stout has been limited to their defensive half of the field for a majority of this game. And we did see some semblance of offense coming out for them as well, as they were able to very shortly, for about 30 seconds, keep the ball on the orange half of Missouri Science and Tech. But it just did not feel pressured enough. For them to bring this one back here, it's going to take a lot of different avenues of approach. Granted,
Yes.
this team has all the pieces to get it done. But
It's
oh
just a
boy,
matter
it's a tall order.
It's just a matter of execution. You're right. It's going to have to be 3 straight games now. Even if you can turn around here, game number 3, potentially our last game of the evening here, it's just such a tall ask to continue to go again and again and again. It's going to take a massive adjustment, but nevertheless, here we go for Wisconsin Stout. They're on life support here against Missouri Science and Tech, who just want to close out this tournament in style, try and get that sweep in the grand finals, and here we go. Brave gets a good challenge in the corner, picked up by time, and at least in the opening salvo, it has been going the way of Wisconsin Stout, as Brave going to try and center that into the middle, but Messiah is not going to get to that one. It's Time instead, who does a good job of picking that up, and dangerous looking play there, is ball not handled with any assertive force off the backboard. 60 seconds gone, no goals yet. Both teams had pretty good looks, and here's one now.
Oh, here we go.
See, it's
Beautiful
play. Messiah opening it up.
This is excellent opportunity. Messiah recognizing his teammate coming through to bump the defense. Time, there's not much you can do at that point. You're last one back, and you have to dodge both the defender and get a save. Not a great position to be in. It's going to be very tough. It's exactly what Wisconsin Stout need to start this game, to start this part of the series.
And I harken back to game 1 here where Wisconsin Stout found that early success. They jumped out to the 2-goal lead. It's just so hard to do it for 5 minutes against this team. Here's a great pass in, right? They get a good look, and still Sugar just on his own just clears it out, and there's time to continue the pressure, and now all of a sudden it's just a goal the other way. I think that may have been an own goal, actually. I want to see this, but I'm pretty sure this was actually turned inside by 2 blue players. Oh no.
Oh, that's such an unlucky pinch. It's almost like the ball squeezed through them and just went out the other side into the net. Oh my goodness.
That one's certainly unfortunate, because you don't want to give a team this good with this many offensive threats any freebies, as Messiah takes it all the way down. The double commit from Missouri S&T may allow a chance to open up, but it's well defended by time. Sugar unable to get a hold of that one. Messiah working out of the corner, and it might just squeeze all the way in. It's Lurk who just gets enough of a touch on this to restore the lead here for Wisconsin Stout.
Oh, wow. That got into the thinnest of margins. That just goes to show, hey, if you see an opportunity that presents itself, even if you don't think it's going to be an excellent shot, if you can create that chance and take it, it will just work out for you.
But here comes time. When it's not Bernie or it's not Sugar, it's time coming through, and did a great job there of making the read. And halfway through this game, once again level. It's been a back and forth battle, but someone needs to break out. Someone needs to assert control over this game. And Greek, I have to say this has definitely been the best game that Wisconsin has played in this series so far.
Absolutely. They are doing a fantastic job. They are not giving up. When Missouri Science and Tech has a score, they have a rebuttal. And that is so key for them here. And that's the mindset that they're going to need if they want to pull off this reverse sweep and then bracket reset. So as we're approaching passing the 2-minute mark now, they can't give Sugar this much time to bring the ball all the way downfield. The mind games are starting to come out.
Yeah, with no boost there. Just trying to get the 50-50s.
It's just, you can tell that this Missouri S&T squad, they just are exuding confidence. It's hard to bet against that, especially as Sugar comes in for the score. But Wisconsin Stout, they just allowed Bernie free avenue to center that.
Yeah, and all 3 players in the corner as well, I think, is the other issue there. Just nobody waiting on the back post. Everybody grouped up towards the ball. It's never a good thing, because all it takes is one decent touch, as we saw right there, to break that line. And, Wisconsin Stout, they have had an answer every time so far in this game. And I don't know if they can have an answer for that one. Here comes Sugar. Lining it up. Draining it home. It's Bernie on the setup, Sugar on the finish.
And that's Bernie now with 3 assists in just this game alone. Coming in very clutch, getting the playmaker. Minute and 10 seconds to go here in this game. Wisconsin Stout down by 2, almost 3. Will it be? No. Wisconsin Stout, they need to score 1 here and now to give themselves enough time to score the tying goal.
It's a tall order, though, against a defense in Missouri Science and Tech. But here might be an opportunity. It's 2v1 there, but that's a great touch from the last man back for Missouri S&T, as this one just goes careening towards the sidewall. Brave's going to put a great shot on it. It goes far down and out. It had to be perfect, and it was just a little bit too high.
Oh my goodness, that was a fantastic shot. I cannot believe it did not score. That was as close as you can get, pixels away from going in.
Oh no, and that may be the dagger in this series here. With 10 seconds left. It's still Missouri S&T putting shots on that one off the crossbar. It's going to have to be quick, but it's
That's going
Bernie
in.
who has the goal and has the series ender here. That one will certainly be enough for Missouri S&T to close this out, as they will go with the sweep in a very convincing fashion. 5 more seconds left. It's just a formality here.
It is, as the clock strikes 0 seconds. The ball will touch the ground. It will not. As one more goes in, the consolation prize for Wisconsin Stout. This game will end 3-5, but the series will end 3-0 for Missouri Science and Technology. Congratulations to these 3 players. Excellent night of Rocket League, and Perino, they just proved to us this entire evening that they were the team to beat, but nobody beat them. It's unreal.
No, they only dropped one game for
One
the entire sequence. So that is
Oh
a
my goodness.
nearly flawless run. Again, congratulations to Missouri S&T for coming through and taking down the Battle of St. Louis Rocket League event here. You know, just Greek, when I think about that performance, it was a complete package from them. You know, when they got going, they just absolutely dominated possession. They put great goals on target. They had the teamwork. They just had everything working for them. And when you have a team that's playing that well, they go through and win the tournament. So that's a pretty nifty event for them here as it come through on first place. You love to see that.
It is. You do love to see it. It's hard to bet against them, especially after that first series we saw them play and how dominant they were. That was a team that we really started to think about, like, all right, we should be watching them, and we were not disappointed. But again, I want to thank everyone for stopping by the stream and for the show this evening. It's been a fantastic time, and I want to just go back and just run through our list because we have so many people to thank, especially the Marines. Thank you so much for helping to sponsor this event, and also want to thank our partners at Sector 6 Apparel, Esports TV, and NFL Alumni for just bringing this all together. We couldn't have done it without you, and of course, I got to say thank you to my co-commentator for this evening. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey that this double elimination bracket has brought us in. Oh my goodness, what a treat it was. It's a fantastic night of Rocket League, that's for sure.
Absolutely, Greek. It was an absolute pleasure to be here this evening and work with a very talented team. You know, again, shout out to our producer, Char, behind the scenes, and, you know, Ryan as well, you know, working with the teams and getting everything running smooth. So thank you to those two in particular for helping us do what we do best. You know, it allows us to just focus on doing the talking, making it easy on us. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, they do all of the hard work, so they deserve all of the recognition. They did a fantastic job. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. I think that's it for this stream. Oh my goodness, we're out of Rocket League. What's going on? We'll catch you for next time. And again, thank you, everyone. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Have a good night.
Go for it.
Okay, so for 1,000 Rocket League credits, we got Gotcha Peter for the winner of it.
Hey.
Congratulations.
There we go.
Esports College and Career Pathways we are dedicated to helping gamers, players really improve their game, whether at the collegiate level like we are today or as a career.
So you go to your buddy and be like, hey, I got paid to play video game and get good grades. What did you get money for?
We really want to give a foundation for gamers to come in, express themselves in their own way, give them a competitive base setting, and provide them with the equipment necessary to, thrive in that competitive setting.
We looked at the resources that are available. And even yesterday, I was talking to parents and players, and they didn't even know there were varsity teams at the college level, let alone that there's scholarships. So we took upon ourselves that we really want to put together these combines, not just like Rocket League we're doing now, but we're doing League of Legends in 2 weeks. And beyond that, we're probably going to do Fortnite to really give resources and a recruitment tool for the colleges, but really to get these players in front of the right people at the right time.